Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Jason Palmer, along with my real life cousin and my wonderful co-host, the coach himself, Lance C. Don't forget that C. Irvin. Cuz, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great since you finally gave me the type of announcement and brought me in the way you should have brought me in. Hey, I thought there was something wrong the last couple of weeks. You was bringing me in like I was your step cousin or something. I'm doing great. I know you and I argue from time to time, but I mean, I was gonna have to talk to you. I was gonna ask you, maybe you feeling some type of way. I don't know.
No. I love my cuz. I am doing great. A wonderful day here in the Chicago area because, for one, it finally stopped raining.
It was doing more than raining yesterday. I don't know what it was doing, but unlike some of us that had our side piece team shirt on yesterday and hat, I didn't. I was watching my Bears win. That's all.
You were.
I'm not a fair weather fan like my cousin, but that's okay though. How about those Bears?
Congratulations to you and all the Bears fans. I'm very happy for all of you. It was really a good game, and we're going to talk about that right out the bat for today's show. So that will be our first topic, but welcome everybody to What's Up, Cuz. If this is your first time joining us, we appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully it ain't just for IO and you really do like me and Lance. You'll tune in more on a weekly basis. And for our longtime followers, we told you this show was coming. We finally got it together on our YouTube live Sports Zone Chicago channel. We appreciate that. Go ahead and like and subscribe that channel. It'll give you access to all the wonderful shows we have here on Sports Zone Chicago, like Sean and Maya in the morning, like Lakina and Sid, Second City Sports in the afternoon, like our guy Jamar Hart 101, like our guy Smoke Fellas that come on Saturdays. We got a lot of great shows on this platform. If you're watching us on Roku, our new Roku channel, we've only had it up about 3 or 4 months, but the Sports Zone Roku channel, if you do not have that channel yet on your Roku, what's wrong with you? Hurry up and download that channel. We need y'all to download that channel. So download the channel. It'll give you a wonderful viewing and audio experience of all the shows that we have here. If you're also checking us out on Facebook Live, go ahead and leave your comments and questions on there. We try to get those into the show as well. And we also have the Sports Zone Chicago app, so you can take us on the go. And my cousin Lance is going to tell you where you can get that app if you don't have it already.
You can get that app at the Amazon store, the Google Play Store, and the iTunes Store. And make sure y'all follow my cousin Jason Palmer. Please follow him and all his reporting and stuff like that. But Jason is beside himself today. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say nothing else. But please follow us. And Armando, that's why I like you. Go Bears.
So we got our regular viewers who are already chiming in, and again, the Bears. I mean, let's just stop playing around. Let's just talk about the victory yesterday over the San Francisco 49ers. The Chicago Bears win 19-10 at a muddy Soldier Field, but Lance, the turf held up.
You know what? How about the Kentucky bluegrass, is it, or the North Carolina grass?
That we got rid of. We got Bermuda grass now, Lance.
Bermuda grass now, and the turf held up great. You know, it's interesting to see, Jay. I was wondering if the players was going to lose their footing when you were in the rain like that. But it seemed like the turf held up well. And, you know, other than the last part, I see you, Gigi. Other than the last part of the game when the rain just got terrible. Other than that, I thought the turf held up great.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Everyone here in Chicago was on pins and needles. We had heard they were putting in new turf, and the funny thing is they just put that new surface in the field on Tuesday. Yep. So they would have preferred for it to have gotten like 2 weeks worth of just sitting there with nothing on it, but you know that wasn't the case, and it held up remarkably well. I was actually shocked because I think we all saw the weather report Saturday night. We were like, oh, Jesus. They just put in new turf. God forbid what is going to happen. But it held up extremely well given the circumstances. We were very impressed. So, you know, shout out. Man, we don't say that very often, but shout out to the Chicago Park District and the Chicago Bears for putting in the right turf and for the turf holding up. But Lance, the game itself, the first half, everybody's watching. And it's funny because everybody's now excited now. They got us beating the Packers next week and we go into the playoffs. I'm like, at halftime, y'all were terrified.
At halftime, I was sitting there like, now, I'm a Bears fan. Do I really want to turn this off? Because I was disappointed. Like, Jay, the second play of the game, I think he got sacked or something like that. It happened so quick. And I'm sitting there like, and he had Justin Fields, hadn't thrown to a wide receiver or a tight end the whole first half. So I'm sitting there like, being a football fan like I am, I'm like, this is not good. And Trey Lance in San Francisco, they were moving the ball pretty good. They just couldn't capitalize. And lo and behold, that's why you stay in the game. But I'm going to tell you something like Sean has been telling us for the past couple of weeks. The Bears are a disciplined team. They didn't commit a lot of turnovers. They were able to hold on to the ball, and they scored when we needed to score in the second half. So shout out to the Bears, but I'm still concerned about our offensive line, OJ. I'm concerned because they was loading up the box pretty much the whole first half at least, and some of the second.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I think there's no doubt about that. And I think we all recognize that. Justin still has work to do. There was some mistakes that were obviously made, some throws that probably shouldn't have been made. He did throw the interception, but this is progress. And I think when our buddy Ken Davis came on about a month ago during the preseason, he said it best. We think they know what they're doing. I think that should be the motto for the season. I really do think that should be the motto. It looks like they know what they're doing. They look competent. They look disciplined. They look more than watchable. They looks like they could be really entertaining. So, it was very positive first game for your Chicago Bears. And I was just so happy because, the weather here was terrible. So everybody was watching the game. Couldn't nobody do nothing. Nobody was outside. So, it's really good that they came out with that victory yesterday. And we're going to jump right back into the Bears. But we want to let everyone know what we have on this show tonight because this is a big show, Lance Irvin. You realize that. This is a big show.
You made it a big show, but I'm going to let you take it away because we have guests coming on the show. One guest after another guest after another guest. So, no, it's a great show, and I'm happy we're able to bring our viewers some guests that like we've been able to bring for the past couple of years, though. But I'm going to let you take it away, Mr. Showstopper. Go ahead.
So we do. We have plenty of guests. So our first guest coming up at around 6:30 is Lance Irvin's former player, Morgan Park High School alum, University of Illinois alum, current Chicago Bull, Ayo Dosunmu is coming on. Ayo is going to join us at 6:30. He's going to talk all about the upcoming Bull season, which is going to start in about probably 2 weeks. They start reporting.
Yep.
Yeah.
They report, and the official season starts like October 19th this year.
There you go. So Ayo's going to come on. He's going to talk a little bit about his rookie campaign and what it went and how it went and what he's looking forward to in his second year in the NBA with the Bulls. So we got a lot of questions for him. And then at 7:00, we're following that up with another University of Illinois alum and a Proviso East alum. Your guy, D Brown. D Brown is coming on the show. And, I just noticed in that picture, that's Chris Paul, ain't it?
Yeah, that's CP3. Hey, Jay, that was a good point guard matchup back in the day. Right?
We got to talk to him about that.
He was giving it to folks, and CP3 was giving it to folks then also.
Ooh, wow. So that's going to be our second guest. D Brown's coming on around 7:00. And then we're going to try to do a little cross-talk with him and Ayo since they both U of I, alums. And maybe we can get them to talk a little bit about what it was like down there in Champaign-Urbana for both of them. But D is now the head coach at Roosevelt University here in Chicago, his first head coaching gig. So we got a lot to talk about with D. And then coming up about 7:30, we're bringing in my guy Eric Wilson. And he's going to help us break down what happened to our Chicago Sky, Lancer? We need to figure out what happened and why we're not in the finals. But Eric is going to come on. He's going to talk to us about it and break it down. And then at 7:55, we have one more guest coming on, a former guest, but some history is being made in Chicago on Thursday. Our good friend Kanisha Rhea, who is the head coach at DuSable High School here in Chicago. She will be taking on the head coach of Fenger High School, Jocelyn Mayfield. And it will be the first time in the history of the Chicago Public Schools, and I personally believe in the state of Illinois, that two female head football coaches will face off against one another. So we got a quick tidbit with them coming on near the end of the show. So we are loaded up with guests, Lance Urban.
You know, Jay, we are loaded up with guests, but I'm glad I'm in shape today. Whew, I'm glad I'm in shape. This is gonna be a great show. But I saw both of those young ladies coach last week, Jay, and they're passionate about what they do. They're great coaches and stuff. So I can't wait to be there Thursday to witness history being made.
Yeah, it should be. Facebook user. There you go. There's a name for you, Lance Urban. He's just anonymous. But thank you for checking in, Facebook user. This is going to be a great show, man. We got a lot of questions and a lot of things to go over. So let's get back to the Bears real quick. What was your most positive takeaway that you took away from the game?
You know, Sean has been talking to us about how the Bears are going to be quick to the ball. Everybody's going to be quick to the ball on offense and defense. And how we were going to force turnovers. Turnovers was key. So early on in the first half, my man goes for, I can't think his name, Jay, but he goes for a rush. He turns the corner. I'm like, he about to get to the end zone. We strip him. We strip it. And I'm sitting there like, there we go. It's a gang effort. So I was happy about that. Deebo Samuel. Deebo. My man Deebo turned the corner, and I'm looking at him like, Deebo about to get to the end zone. So we strip him, and I think Eddie Jackson had a great game too. I'm proud about the way he picked up his game yesterday because Jay, for the last couple of years, he hasn't been the same Eddie Jackson.
I like our graphic down there because that is very true. What was going on? It was tropical storm conditions, yes.
Yeah. So I'm happy for that. And we look like we was a well-coached team for the first game. And we've been talking about us being disciplined. So shout out to the Bears. So let's see if we can build on this. But Jalen Johnson, he was punched the ball out. Brisker was great. So I'm happy about our team speed. I always thought our team speed was going to be key this year anyway. But I'm still concerned about Justin Fields, though, because he took a couple of hits yesterday also now. So I'm concerned about that, but I'm happy that we won, though.
Yeah, I thought Justin Fields, I thought he played, rather well for his first game in this new system under the new coach and the weather conditions. I mean, it's never fun to throw a ball in those type of conditions. And, he made some solid throws, He had 2 touchdown passes. Let's not, forget that. And, I mean, he was making plays. He was making plays with his feet. They were rolling him out of the pocket. Things that we've been asking for since he got here. They are catering the offense to his skill set. And it was really, really cool to see, man. I was really happy for the Bears Nation because I think the fans deserve this win more than anyone else. Because for the last 3 years, Bears fans have been through hell. Let's just be honest. They've been through hell. And I was really happy to see my friends and families just celebrating the way they were. It was a really big win for the city. Like I say, the weather was crappy all day, so people were looking for something to cheer for. And I just thought it was an incredible atmosphere out there for the first game of the year. So I was very, very happy to see the Bears come away with the victory. And then next week they'll take on their rivals, the Green Bay Packers. So, I think for the first time in a number of years, Bears fans are going into the Packers game optimistic. And let's not pretend we couldn't do that for the past few years.
But Jay, let me say this real quick. How about those Pittsburgh Steelers? Because didn't Mitch get a win yesterday also? That's all I'm going to say. because I'm studying organizational leadership for my master's, right? And sometimes you have to be put in a good situation so you can achieve your
Yeah.
goal. What you want to see. I'm just saying, Mike Tomlin is a really good coach. All I know is Mitch got him a win yesterday too. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say nothing else.
So yes, I made note of that as well. I was watching on the Sunday Ticket, and I was like, Mr. Trubisky is looking like he's Tom Brady all of a sudden. he's leading the team down the field in clutch situations. Now, I mean, the place kickers across the league were all terrible yesterday. They were dunking field goals all over the place, but I thought Mitch, I couldn't believe it. And you know what? I was happy for the young guy. I don't think it was his fault that he was drafted number 3 overall. He was definitely not a number 3 overall pick, so that put the expectations kind of unfairly on him. When he was probably like, I am not the number 3 overall pick. So, I was happy to see the young man go somewhere else and find some success, because last year, he went to Buffalo and had to serve a year as a backup, and now he's got a chance to be a starting quarterback again. And, we've always said how much we love Mike Tomlin. So, I was very happy for Mitch. And, but, back to the Bears just real quick. The conditions were just terrible. And we do have some photos from yesterday's game where we're going to give credit to the photojournalists from the Chicago Sun-Times who just took some absolutely incredible photos. Ashley Resin from the Chicago Sun-Times. This is the Bears celebrating at the end of the game. I think half of the people who I know on Facebook had this as their new profile picture this morning when I woke up. Justin Fields sliding across the field. This is at the end of the game during the height of the rain. We got some more photos too. This is the one that I really like though. So this one shows, let me move the thing off of there real quick. This one shows just how bad the conditions were at Soldier Field. Look at the splash from where the football is, Lance. Not the guy running, but just look at the splash of where the ball is.
You know what, Jay? I was sitting there thinking yesterday, and I know Sean knows better than what I know, but do they make a specific type of rain pants for those guys to wear during the rain like that? Because I was just thinking about, Jay, they had to be soaked, their cleats, their socks. That has to be a terrible feeling. But how do you get used to that? I know they have to play, Jay, but that's tough right there. And you see the 2 other guys, they wearing raincoats. The poor referee doesn't have a raincoat on.
Yeah, she's out there in the elements too. I just think, football is just a different sport. They practice in this stuff. So, and I was telling my wife this because my wife was like, well, why won't they just cancel the game? Unless there's literally like lightning in the area. That is the only time they will be like, okay, everybody go in. But short of a tornado or a lightning strike, they're out there no matter what the elements are. And I was just amazed at these photos that Ashley got us. She's got another one of what it was like for the fans because, I mean, okay, now he got a serious rain hat on here, but I give it to all the fans who stayed out there. Especially after that first half, I'd have been like, you know what? It might be time for me to go. But they endured. They stayed out there. They supported the team. And the Bears come away with a victory in the first game. So just wonderful photographs by Ashley Resin of the Chicago Sun-Times. Thank you for that, Sean. I really want to get those images up to just kind of show our viewers what it was like out there, that experience. So just an incredible atmosphere. We got a couple of top of the morning topics, even though it's the evening. I'm sorry, top of the evening topics. Let's get to those as well. Let's talk about college football. There were a few upsets in the college football. Notre Dame goes down, and so does Texas A&M. And the funny thing is, Texas A&M lost to Appalachian State. And last, they paid them $1.5 million. Texas A&M paid Appalachian State $1.5 million. Tell everyone what that is supposed to mean in college sports when this happens.
Those you all don't know is this. when you pay people 1.4 million, 1.5 million, that means you're basically coming in there taking a loss, and the funding that you get is going to help support your athletic program. So you're not supposed to lose those type games. But now, Jay, if you lose those type games, that's not good because you will take a lot of heat for weeks and years to come after you take a loss like that. And I sat there and I called my cousin. I said, "Cuz, do you know A&M lost?" And I sent you the figures. I said that's like a $1.4 million loss. And poor old Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame, I think that was like a $1.2 million loss to Marshall. So with that being said, Jay, it's never good. Now Jimbo Fisher probably can afford to lose one of those games, but even he's feeling it because he's saying the right stuff. I have to reevaluate everything in my program. So now you start losing too many of those games, that's when they start calling you in the office like Eddie Ogeron and saying, take your 17 million and exit the door. But like Eddie Ogeron, I take my 17 million and walk out the door also.
I mean, here's the thing about Jimbo Fisher. Texas A&M has allegedly had the number one recruiting class. They put a whole bunch into facilities. They've given Jimbo Fisher the largest contract of any coach at A&M. I mean, they put a whole lot of money into this.
Mm-hmm.
You can't lose to Appalachian State. They already mad at him last year for when I went to the game with the wife and they lost to Mississippi State. So Jimbo, I disagree with you that he can take some of these. I don't think he can. Put it like this: they got to play University of Miami on Saturday, so it's going to be a war in my household because everybody know I'm a Hurricane fan. Let him lose to Miami.
Yeah, now that's when stuff gets dicey. Like I said, let me rephrase what I said, Jay. He could maybe afford to lose one of those in his 10-year tenure. But now you start losing two, three, four of those. That's what I said. You'll be walking out the door, especially at a school like Texas A&M, where you have a lot of money. Your budget is probably 7 times bigger than App State. Now, App State is a really good team. They should have beat Carolina. But the tricky part about football, Jay, is this: they schedule those games years in advance, so
Yeah.
you never really know what you're going to get. But this point moving forward, Appalachian State beat Michigan a couple of years ago. I'm not
Yeah.
playing them, so I'm checking them off my box. Nope, not playing them. Because they've proven to us it's not a fluke. And sometimes some years different than other years, but they know what they're doing up there. And it's telling me this, cuz they could probably get anybody in school, and that's a stepping stone job. All right.
Yeah, I think Appalachian State is like the city of Rosemont. Like they some gangsters. They gonna sneak in, take your money, and then they gonna win, and then you sitting there like, what happened? We just paid them. They weren't supposed to be this good. So congratulations to Appalachian State, because yes, they've done this a couple of times. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how many people keep taking the risk of scheduling them because they don't keep up their end of the deal, man.
They don't, and Marshall goes in and beats Notre Dame, and I know the AD at Marshall, so I need to call him and try to get him on the show so he can explain to us how it feels to win a game, and you get the bag when you win the game also.
Yes. Yes. We definitely need to get him on the show. We got some questions for him. It's like, sir, how did you pull that off? Very impressive. So those are the big upsets. And then we have a firing to announce also in football. There's one team that said they've had enough and they fired their coach. Tell them who it was, Lance.
Scott Frost, the University of Nebraska. He's been there for about 5 years. Some would say he should have got fired a couple of years ago. But all I know is this: they gave him a golden parachute on his way out. They gave him 15 million, ladies and gentlemen. If they would have waited 3 more weeks, he would have got 7 million. So Jay, I got a funny feeling and a sneaky suspicion that he's probably one of the good guys that went to school there and they made sure they take care of him, right? Because if I would have got fired, they would have waited 3 weeks to give me 7 million. They gave him 15 million. Doesn't something seem wrong with this picture?
It says wrong that I'm in the wrong career. That's what I'll say. I'm definitely in the wrong career. So explain when you and Sean said this to me this morning, I was shocked by this because I did not know this. So he got fired, but he's going to get $15 million. However, what you all are telling me, they could have waited until October the 1st, and he would have only gotten $7 million.
You got 7 million. Jay, my thing's about this. What's the rush? They haven't won in a couple of years. So you mean to tell me they didn't gave him 5 years to prove if he's the right coach to lead them to the next level, correct? So now,
Yeah.
what is 3 weeks going to do? They can't wait 3 weeks. They could have gave the players or another program that 7 million. They gave him 15, Jay. 15 million. You can't wait 3 weeks to give him 7? I tell you what, like I said, they wouldn't have gave you 15 million. They would have waited 3 weeks and gave
Yeah.
you $1 million, like things that happen to so many of our other coaches that look like me. You're not getting your 15 million. They were gonna wait and you're getting 7 million. That's all I'm gonna say. I was sitting there laughing. I said, "Ooh, life must be good though. Life is real good. You know it too."
Yeah, I mean that's pretty deep, and I mean Scott, his teams have not been performing for a while. So the fact that he was even able to stay as long as he was at Nebraska was one thing, but the fact that he's now gone, he's got 15 million. Man, why won't people fire me for 15 million? Hell, I'll take the 7 million, Lance.
Hey Jay, and let's just think about this, right? That tells you how much money these Power 5 schools have, right? You give the man 15 million out the door. You gave it to him. He's getting his money. It's guaranteed. Then you're gonna have to sign or hire another coach next year. He's gonna probably get about 7 million. You're gonna have to pay that staff. So we look at Jay. That's probably like a what? A $14 million firing. No, I mean 15. This is about a $25 million firing. Maybe more. That's how much money these schools have. Guaranteed, we're gonna add it up next year.
Okay.
It's 15, 10 million for the other coach coming
in.
25 million.
Must be nice. All right. Well, we have reached our first commercial break time, and then coming up after this commercial break, our first guest. It's taken us almost a year to get him, but doggone it, we got him. We said we were gonna get him. Ayo Dosunmu of the Chicago Bulls will be coming up next, and we'll have a lot to talk about with him. You are watching What's Up, Cuz.
Let's get back to normal. How do we do that? Wear a mask, wash your hands, stand 6 feet apart, get tested, and most important, roll up your sleeve and get the shot.
Get the shot. Get the shot.
Get the shot.
I got the shot. I got the shot.
I got the shot.
I got the shot.
I got the shot.
I got the shot, and so should you.
Welcome back to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palm, along with my cousin, the coach himself, Lance C. Irvin. Lance, you ready for this? Let's bring on our first guest, because you know him. You've known him for how long?
You know what? I met this next guest when maybe it was like 12 or 13. He was always long, and I used to see him walking around, and Nick kept telling me, this is going to be the next one. I said, who? Who the little scrawny kid right there? Nick was like, I'm telling you, I'm telling you. And the more I watched him, then when he came to Morgan Park, he made a believer out of me. So I mean, AJ, he's a great person, comes from a great family. The only issue, well, I'm not gonna say, but he won every award you could win: state championship, college Big Ten championship. Think he won Bob Cousy, Nate Smith Award winner. He's been a winner every way he went. So Jay, I'm gonna let you bring in nephew. I'm gonna let you bring him on. I'm gonna let you bring him.
Well, that was a wonderful introduction. Let's bring him right in right now. Ayo Dusumu. Ayo, what's up? How you doing, man?
What's up, man? How we doing?
Oh, we doing good, man. We're doing good. So glad to have you on here. We know you are a busy young man, and we appreciate you taking some time out for us. I'm gonna let your former coach ask the first question of you.
All right, cool.
You know
Appreciate
what?
y'all having me.
What's up, nephew? You doing good?
What's up, Unc? Yeah, I'm all good.
Yeah. Talk to us, Ayo, first, man. I appreciate you being on the show, but talk to us about your transition from college to the NBA. What does that feel like? I remember watching you when you was little, and I said, you know what? When I really thought you had a chance was your junior year of high school. I said, hey Nick, Ayo got the right mindset. He got stronger, and you was confident. Talk about the jump from college to NBA.
Yeah, the jump from from college to NBA was a fun jump. It was difficult, of course, just because the game is much different. But I would say from my freshman year to my sophomore and junior year, the more I wanted to expand my game so I could be able to, right away make an impact on the NBA level. So after my junior year, I was at a good weight. I was strong enough. I felt good in my shot, and it made the transition much easier to go to the NBA. But the transition is all about mind. You have to put a lot of work in a weight room, a lot of film sessions. You have to be prepared because the NBA is a whole different game than college.
Yeah, I believe that. What would you say you learned the most in your first year in the NBA, Ayo?
I learned that it's no days off. Elementary school, you may get 1 or 2 good games. High school, you might get 1 or 2 good games every 2 weeks. College, same thing. But NBA, you got one of those dudes each and every night. No matter what the record is, it's one of those guys getting paid $25 million. So just that alone, I would say, is one of the big differences because each and every night you have to guard one of those guys.
Wow.
And let me say this, Aya. One thing you just talked about is the weight training, right? And
Yeah.
when Bricky and I saw you this summer again, like Jay, every time I see Io, he's getting bigger. So I looked at you a couple of weeks ago at the clinic, and I said, ISO done got bigger again.
Yeah.
Is it really a concerted effort for you to get stronger or bigger?
Yeah, definitely. Because I want to not only just get stronger for myself, but it helps my game. It helps those little drives where if you're driving it in, absorbing the contact and finishing, it helps you navigate through screens easier. It just gives you a confidence in your game when your body is good, and then also it comes to longevity of the game. Doing studies on research of the best players in the game. This is something I want to do for a long time, and I understand that take care of my body is one of those things that I have to do. So I try to really, at a young age, early in my career, really stamp my footprints on that, my hands on that, and just being a student of the game and just always trying to get better and get bigger and stay healthy.
How do you think your body held up last year, that 82 game season? Look at Ayo. Oh, man, he buff, man. Oh, my God. 82 games in the NBA. That's a lot. Plus, you got playoffs as well. How do you think your body endured your first season?
Yeah, I think I did pretty good. So probably after the All-Star break, that's when I started to feel, the rug days. My body started to feel different, of course, a little bit tired, a little bit fatigued. I fought through it though, but probably after the All-Star break is when I first started to feel it. I knew it was normal. I talked to a lot of the guys on the team, the weight strength, our weight strength coaches, and they told me that was going to happen. But that's why this summer I've really been hitting it hard. So next season when I hit that same road, I just attack it and I just run right through it.
So I'm not gonna let your family. I'm not gonna let your family get mad at me. So I'm gonna make sure I bring up your family. Some people they say, Jay, they shouldn't be in Chicago. They shouldn't be in the home city where they from. because their family is a distraction for them.
Yeah.
But your family is not. Talk to us about your family, your brothers and your sister, and what they mean to you.
Yeah, I mean, you know my family very well. They're real. We are real. One unit orientated. You know, we all move as one, just like yours. And they just here to support me. You know, my dad, he's a businessman. He wants the best from me. He always wants me to go out there and prove that. So he's always on me each and every day to get better. You know, my mom the same way. And my siblings, they push me. They my hardest critics.
They are. Yes,
Yeah,
they are.
they my hardest critics. They want me to. I have to do something very spectacular to get a compliment out of them. But I understand that the love is all there, so I don't have to. You know, I don't need no yes man around me. And I think that's something that really has benefited me by having a tight knit family that I know deep down inside wants me to succeed.
You know what, Jay? And he is telling the truth. I remember a day in high school, Io really didn't play well. And you know how
Yeah.
some parents, they make excuses. I looked at his mama, his sisters, his brothers. They all was sitting there shaking his head. I'm like, that's not going to be a fun ride home. So I slid over to Q. I said, hey, Q. I mean, yeah, okay, leave him alone. He said, I'm waiting for you to get on him. I said, oh.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that too, Lance, because I went to the game. I don't even know if I remembers this game, but you all were playing Harlan.
Yep.
At Harlan, and Io didn't have a good game. And I had access to the locker room, and Nick said, "How you call yourself the number one player in the state? You out there playing like that?" And Io just took it. In that very next game, he came out and he just hit it. Io, you know, everyone responds differently to criticism. When you're a professional athlete, that criticism is now on the highest level. How do you deal with fans on social media, the regular media people who criticize your game? How do you take that in stride and use it to motivate you to go forward?
I think the best way at that is just having faith in yourself and having faith in God. You know, first putting God first, because when you're at a good space with God, no man, no woman can say anything to get you off your zone. And then two, I think just putting the work in. You know, when you put your shots up, when you're lifting your weights, when you're getting all your extra work, when you're doing everything you do to go out there and perform, you know, you trust in yourself, you trust in your tools, you trust in your instincts, you trust in your ability. So no one can say to throw you off. I think a lot of times people don't work on certain things, or they aren't putting the same work in. So now whenever they hear doubt, they believe the doubt because the confidence is not there because they're not putting the work in. But when you put the work in, if you know you're putting 600, 700 shots up, you miss 2 shots, you know no matter what, the third, fourth shot's going to go in because you put the work in. So that's just the mindset that I always had when it came to critics. I put the work into my game. I trust in my game. So it's nothing that no one can tell me about my game, you know, because I put the work into it, and I try my best to be a professional at that.
Do you think, Io, you play with a veteran backcourt for the Chicago Bulls, right? You have Zach and DeMar. How have those guys, AC, helped you in your development your first year?
I mean, they did a great job of helping me develop because they always told me the real. You know, I asked a lot of questions. That's one thing about me. From the day one of training camp last year, I was asking them so many questions, and they always gave me the honest answer. Even during the season, you know, if I had good games, I still asked DeMar, like, what'd you see here? Or Zach, what'd you see here? Because just the honesty of it, they've been there. You know, they've been through those battles, more battles than I have been through. You know, Alex won a championship, so he know what it felt like to be the last one standing. So I try to just pick their brains because I know that the advice they give me or the mistakes they made, they can give me advice so I don't make the same mistakes.
So, you know, I gotta ask you this. So let's go to Morgan Park, right? I got a bone to pick with you from Morgan Park. So you come over to Morgan Park, Jay. We used to have these pickup games, these practice games to pick up, right? Io started on my team. He used to play on my team for a week. So then you changed to Nicholas' team.
Yeah.
I'm still mad at you. What made you change to Nick's team?
I mean,
what?
I don't know, man. Free agency hit, and Nick Nick offered me the most money, man. I had to take it, man. He offered me the most money. I had to take it. This is how Wayne Blackshear, Charlie, Billy, all those guys.
CJ, All the rookies used to play on my team. We used to play during practice. We had these pickup games. I was on my team, so I run in the gym. I said, "Come on, ISO, let's lace him up." Next thing I know, he on Nick team. So I feel some type of way about that. So how do you feel playing at Morgan Park helped you, IO? Do you feel like it was good you came to Morgan Park, and how did that help your game moving on?
Definitely. I think Morgan Park is one of the best decisions that I made to help my basketball career because coming from Westinghouse, I had a very good freshman year. I loved Westinghouse also. It was a great school. It was great academically, but Morgan Park just offered more on the basketball side. And, just coming in my sophomore year, and it was already a loaded backcourt. And, a lot of people, it just prepared me at a young age to go out there and just compete no matter, who you're going against because we had a veteran team. We had like 4 starting seniors. We had a lot of guards. And I was a sophomore new on the block. And it really just taught me at an early age how to come out there and just make winning plays, play basketball the right way, compete. And all the practice, as was hard. We had so much talent there. We had Charlie there. He was in his peak going for the Mr. Basketball. We just had a good team, Jamal, Jaren, Zoe, all of those guys. And I was a sophomore. So just me going out there competing every day, knowing that you can't take no days off. It was pretty much similar to the NBA. You couldn't take no days off there because we had guys, Cam, we had so many guys that didn't start, but they were just good basketball players. So I think that competitive nature at my sophomore season that helped me go through it in college and then ultimately my rookie year in the NBA.
So you leave Morgan Park after you graduate there. You chose University of Illinois. What made you decide to go to U of I and stay in state?
I talked to the coaching staff. The coaching staff was cool. The university was cool. It's a great university. And it was just the way I looked at it as I was not going to go to a school that could have benefited me on the basketball side the same way as Illinois did. And that was just how I felt. I felt that if I was going to do that, I could stay home and I could help my own team win than go to another school that's in the same position as my school and just be one of those guys. I'd rather just stay here. And also, I wanted my legacy to be cemented there. I wanted to, 10, 15 years after, I can be able to go back there and if anyone I need able to get a job, or if I want to go back there and just my legacy. I wanted my legacy to just last forever. And I knew that Illinois was the best for me. My family was able to come and see me play, and it was close to home. So it was all perfect. It was all the perfect match.
That's well said because when you went, they were winning, but it was a but there. They really hadn't got over the hump.
Exactly.
Did you feel any pressure to help them get over the hump before you got them over the hump? You got a lot of coaches paid extra money.
Yeah.
Did you feel any pressure to help them get over the hump?
I mean, yeah, I knew that was the challenge of going there, and I knew that me being from Chicago, that was one of the things that I wanted to do. When me and my dad and my brother chose to go to Westinghouse, they were in the white, and after my freshman season, we took them to the red. And that's what I envisioned at Illinois. I knew that it was always potential there. I knew that we always had the right pieces, but this was missing a couple things to help us be one of the national powerhouses. And that was my goal. I want to go there and help turn it around and make a national powerhouse. Now, if you look now, you have recruits transferring. You have top 25 recruits going there. Like you said, coaches are getting paid. Coaches are able to get better positions. Coaches are getting other jobs, other places, and that's all off the work that not just I put in, but all of the guys that came there with me, all the coaches that was there with me. So that was what I looked at as just a bigger picture, not just myself, but trying to, ultimately help everyone around me be successful.
Obviously, when you went there, and some of the other players from the Chicago Public League that have gone down there after you even, you kind of started that resurgence of Chicago Public League players going down to Champaign. What was the difference in the culture for you coming out of the city and then going down to Central Illinois? What type of culture shock did you experience down there at U of I, if any?
I mean, I really wouldn't say it was anything. I think that's really a myth because, it was the same to me. It was the same, honestly, from I would say Westinghouse to it was cool because if you look at it, even Morgan Park, a lot of the people in Champaign are from Chicago. Like people
Mm-hmm.
don't understand that. So there's a lot of people I knew there. If they was a year older than me, 2 years older than me, it was really from Chicago. Of course, it was a different group you had to meet, but the culture shock thing, I wouldn't say it was too much of a difference because I saw a lot of people that I already knew. And when you're a basketball player, you're not really going to all those frat houses. You're not going to all those parties. You really focus on your game. So me, I never went to a party. So, I really didn't know who was out there. I'm going to the gym, going back to my dorm, going to the gym the next morning, come back to my dorm. So I would say from me that it really wasn't a change. Like it felt good. Of course not Chicago because Chicago just home, better
Mm-hmm.
food, things like that. But it wasn't anything where you have to be like, all right, I'm going to Champaign. Like I hate it. No, it was a cool place.
So, Io, did you just say you never went to a party in Champaign?
No, like I wasn't going to that. I wasn't doing that. I went to a party on my official visit. When I first went on my official visit, that was one time, and then I think my sophomore year on my birthday, I think I went out. So I went out twice my whole 3 years there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a student athlete. See, CJ, that's a good student athlete. But let me ask you
Yes,
this,
it
Io.
is.
So you come out early from U of I. What made you want to come out early? When did you know you was ready to come out to make the jump?
Yeah, so I put my name in my freshman year. I was getting a little bit of attention my freshman year. I was on some draft boards, but I didn't feel like I was physically ready. So I ultimately went back for my sophomore year. After my sophomore year, I think that my game was ready for the NBA, but COVID hit. I went back my third year, and then once I stepped back my third year, I knew that I knew I belonged in the NBA. I knew that that's ultimately was my last season there. I just felt stronger.
Wow.
It was just like it's times where you just realize your freshman year in practice, coming off pick and rolls, it may be harder. You're not as strong. Reads are much harder to find. Just ultimately trying to dominate. That's what I vision myself. Whenever I'm able to dominate the game on both ends, then I knew I was ready. And my junior year, I felt strong. I was finishing. I was finishing well. My weight was good. My jump shot felt great. And so I knew that. I knew that after my junior year, I was ready.
So, Io, did you have any second thoughts? Because obviously you were ready. Did you have any thoughts because of the way you all lost in the tournament?
No, I didn't have any thoughts about my game. No. The only thing I knew about the tournament was that the only thing I was mad about the tournament was that I knew that that's what people was going to go off of. I knew that after the tournament game, I left a sour taste in people, and the higher people who make the judgment, make the decisions in mouth, that they were going to disregard all of the work I did my junior year, all of the championships I won my freshman, sophomore, junior year, all of that was out the window. It was strictly off that one game. And I knew that was going to happen. So it really didn't bother me, but I was just angry because it's like, in that time, it's like, okay, I just put all this work here. I had one bad game, and now it's all out the window, allegedly. But you like people always say, when you put the work in, it's always going to show. So no matter what it is, it's always going to show. What you do in the dark, it always shines in the light.
Yeah, and I'm glad he answered that, Lance, because, let's be honest, you and I, we monitor social media, and I know U of I alumni and they fans, they can be crazy, don't get me wrong. I remember what y'all did to Eric Gordon. So I mean, I really am glad that I was able to answer that question. Go ahead, Lance.
No, let's talk about this, Io. Even though it left a bad taste in your mouth, I was sitting there and I said, I knew when they drafted you, you was gonna have a chip on your shoulder, because I was sitting there saying, this man is a first-team All-American, done everything the right way, didn't get in trouble, you was living right, and you did everything that you possibly can do at that time. And I was telling people, I said, I don't care where they drafted you at. I figured you was going to be a 15-year pro anyway. But let me ask you this. This one I know you had a chip on your shoulder. You remember when we were downstate and you were playing cards and you was late for the bus and I went off on you? Hey, Jay, so I go off on Io, right? I go off on Nick like good, everybody like good. So we played a championship game, right? So he tell me, I ain't gonna let you down. I ain't gonna let y'all down. every time he hit a basket, he was running past, looking at me and Nick. I told you so. I
Yeah,
told
I
y'all
remember
so. I told y'all so. Have you always had that chip on your shoulder? I was sitting there laughing, Jay. I was like, Nick was like, I'm glad you said that to him because they're in trouble now. So have
yeah.
you always had that chip on your shoulder, nephew?
I mean, definitely. You know, I just felt like throughout my whole basketball career, it was always a chip on my shoulder. Whether it was when I started at Westinghouse, transferring to Morgan Park, it was a chip. People were saying, "Can he do it? Like, can he do it in a red? Can he do it against better competition?" Going to Illinois, can he help lead his team? Can he do this? Can he do that? At Morgan Park, can he help lead? Can he help win? Can he do it without this and such? It was just I always heard chitter chatter, but I never let it bother me. I always knew people said it, but I never let it bother me. And it just always fueled me to get better. It always fueled me to try to become the best player I can be. Even when I got hurt my senior year, you know, the whole season, if you remember, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he should sit down. Can he play? Can he do it? Can he do it?" It was always, can he? And it always just motivated me. It always just gave me that chip to go and be better, to go and try to unlock new heights. And then, you know, coming out, being drafted number 38, it was what he did in college, can he transfer to the NBA level? It was always can he. At some point, I'm like, all right, it is what it is. They always go doubt me. Now it's just going to gym, like I stated earlier. I try to perfect my workout, perfect my body, perfect my craft. So now I know what I can do. I know what I need to do, and no one say steer me off of this path that I'm on, because I put the work in. I believe in the Lord. I talk to the Lord, and I have a strong supporting system behind me.
So now with the Bulls going into your second season, last year, you know, you all made the playoffs. First time the Bulls have made the playoffs in a long time. You had that experience, everything you all had to go through last year as a team with all the COVID and everything else. What can we expect from you this season upcoming, and what can we expect from this Bulls team?
You know, of course, you know, team first. So you can expect the Bulls team to just be more consistent in areas, the core value areas, just being more consistent in those areas, doing the little things to help us be one of the best teams and stay at being one of the best teams. That's definitely something that we already been emphasizing as a team to help do. Man, myself, just me, already having 90 games in, you know, having the whole playoff experience against one of the defending champions at that time. You can just expect me to just come out and just be better, just try to be better in every aspect, because I watched a lot of film. I did a lot of studying on my game, on how I can prepare myself to be better. And, so you just expect just me to go out there and try to do what I always do, play the game the right way, defend, score, facilitate, just be a better version of myself, just having more experience under my belt.
So, you know, when we had your dad on our show last year about this time, he said the thing that makes IO so great is that he will do whatever you ask him to do in order for the team to win. If you need him to just play defense, he'll play defense. If you need him to score, he'll score. If you need him to pass, he'll pass. I bring that up because we all know that that Ball is currently injured. There's a lot of speculation on when he's coming back, who's going to take his spot, blah, 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 blah. You're such a versatile player. Do you think you have the confidence and the skill set to step in if Ball is out for an even more extended period of time?
I mean, definitely. I always had the confidence. That's something that's always there. And then the skill, of course. I mean, I think it's always there. I think I'm ready for that. Whatever, like you said, whatever the coach needs me to do, I prepare myself in the offseason to go out there and do it. Whether it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it's asked, I prepare myself. I went over it 100 times with my coaches, my dad, my brother. A lot of long nights, a lot of early mornings. So whatever I'm asked to do, I'm going to try to just be the best in whatever I'm asked to do.
You know, my cousin and I always get into arguments about you guys' city uniforms. I don't like the city uniforms. What's up with y'all city?
I love them.
Do you like y'all city uniforms? I mean, be honest with me. What's your take on city uniforms, ISO?
I wouldn't say I don't like them, but you know, I'm a pretty basic guy, I would think, with stuff like that. Like, it really doesn't bother me. I could hear an argument for either way, but you know, me, I really don't care. Whatever it is, like as long as it looks cool, it's decent. I don't really care.
So Lance asked you about the trash talk. You said something about Io and trash talking.
Yeah, all right, so let me ask you this. Do they really talk crazy in the NBA like they used to? Like, who's the biggest trash talker you played against? You like, man, this dude out here chirping all game.
Definitely, a lot of guys talk. It all depends on how the game is. Of course, just certain competitors, they do things at a different level. So, some people, if it's a high ABC game, one of those big games, they coming out ready. They make two or three shots. They talking. I remember Devin Booker. He talks. I'll probably say he's one of the most trash talkers because every time when we played them, he got a shot. He wasn't talking too crazy, but you could hear it like, hey, basket, or here we go, or CP would be like, yeah, let's get going. And I consider trash talking if someone is talking on offense or defense over loud. I feel like it's trash talking because, like, if you over loud, I think you want the other team to hear you. Like CP would be like, yeah, come set it, roll out, we'll get a basket, like something like that. Like I feel like you trash talking, so I'd say probably those two.
Oh man! So let's talk about trash talk. We're doing something we've never done in the history of our show before. Because Io's got to go in a few minutes, but we want to do something really special. So this is our Fighting Illini kind of alumni show. So we're gonna bring in another Illinois Fighting Illini guard who also played in the league, and he know a little bit about trash talking. He's currently the head coach at Roosevelt University. Coach D Brown is here. D, are you back there? Bring D on here, Sean. There he is.
What up? I see y'all talking to the GOAT. I owe that GOAT, man. I owe that dude.
Nah, that's you, man. That's you, man.
I owe that dude, man.
We gonna get the trash talking started then. What's up, D? Hey, D, let me ask you a question. So could your team that you had beat Io's team, his big championship team?
Man, you know what though? Him and Kofi are pretty good 1-2 punch, man. It would have been tough to guard those two dudes, but it's
Stop being modest, D. Stop being modest, D. You, Darren Williams, Luther Head, y'all couldn't beat Io now?
We were loaded. That's all I can tell you. We was pretty good.
What you think, Io? What you think? Talk to him because you know history.
They had a good team. They had a great team, went to the national championship game.
We'd have threw a lot of bodies at Io, though. We'd have threw Darren at him. We'd have threw everybody. We'd have threw the house. We'd have threw the house at Io. You have to throw the house at him.
I think it would have been a good game, definitely. But, Kofi was a problem. So
he was.
I think Kofi, he's the X factor.
No, I love watching their team, man. They were loaded, man. They had a really good team.
The connection.
Oh, Lance got cheap in there. What can I say? So D, when you look at Io now, when you look at his game, what he did at U of I, and what he did in his first year with the Bulls, one of the things that you see as his potential to take his game to the next level in the NBA.
I think Io gonna be, man. He easily be a, 12 to 12. I think he'd do 15 years in the NBA because of his length, his ability to defend, and he one of the better transition players I ever seen, man. I used to see him in high school. I used to tell people he is. I know they call me the one-man fast break, but he was unbelievable in transition. I just think his work ethic, man, he continued to grow as a shooter. His jump shot is looking amazing. I just think he's going to have longevity because he competes. He'll guard anybody. He's going to work. And again, he's a winner. So I just think for him, he just got to keep growing on the perimeter as far as, his range on his jump shot. Other than that, year by year, he's gotten stronger. And if he continues to just, stay the course and fall in love with the process, man, he's going to be in that league a very long time because he does have a chip on his shoulder. You're talking about a guy who just puts in the time and puts in the work. So I'm very excited to see him. And I'm happy, actually, the Bulls took him at 38 because he has a bigger chip on his shoulder going in the second round, which he should have been a lottery pick. But, he learned. He got a great veteran and Debo helping him every day. And I just think his work ethic and his competitive spirit going to keep him around a long time.
And Io, you get to get advice from a lot of different people. You said you incorporate a lot of that stuff. Obviously, hearing this from D, your fellow U of I alum, when did you start as a youngster just being able to filter who I need to listen to and who, okay, they said something, I'm going to let this go in one ear and out the other?
I would say that it was at a young age with my dad. You know, my dad was always in my life, and he was always the one who protected me and looked out for me. Also, my mom, but my dad, he was always there. He always protected me in that aspect of who to look out for, who I could take advice for, who was genuine about me, and who wasn't. So my dad, I would give credit to him on that because he was always there for me and my brother. And he always made sure that, you know, no ill got close to us. He always kept it away from us. And so I would say definitely my dad.
You know, IO, indeed. Nick keep calling me, IO. So do you have a Nick keep calling me. Do you have a Nick Irvin story, man? Please give me one Nick story.
I got so many stories.
Even got a Nick story.
I got so many stories in there. You know, Nick is probably my favorite coach just because Nick was cool off the court, and he was cool off the court. He had a relationship with his players, but on the court, he always been business. And he never sugarcoated. He never did that. He always kept it 100. He always kept it real. And I mean, there's so many stories. I mean, it's Harlem. That was one time. It was another time AAU game. We had like probably 8. You know, AAU we playing at 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning. So you know, we'd come to the game. 2 minutes before the game, not warm up. We're going right into 1 minute layup lines. So, you know, you come out there, you know, we not stretched. So one time I came out, missing shots, missing easy shots. We was down halftime. He went off on me. He was telling me, like, you know, how you expect to be an All-American, how you expect to make McDonald's, how do you expect to win a state championship. He's always be like, Charlie Moore would never do this. Wayne Blackshear never do this. Billy Garrett never did this. So, like, that's what the chip came into me also. He always motivated me. He always said the good players, the great players before me, and I always put a chip on my shoulder to try to go and, you know, do what they did or exceed what they did.
You know, IO, how does it feel seeing D Brown down there being the head coach? I mean,
it's great.
We gotta give D some flowers. I mean,
yeah, it's great. You know, one thing about D, I remember when I saw him and it was a game at Riverside Brookfield. And he gave me some great advice, and he gave me his number. Then I knew he was a genuine dude, and I knew that, you know, everything that people said was always true. You know, he told me that, you know, to be a McDonald's All-American, to be a Jordan Brand All-American, you have to do this, this, and this. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I took the advice because, you know, he's one of the greats to come out of Illinois. You know, he's one of the greats to come out of the city of Chicago, Illinois. So when I knew at a young age, like, okay, this is genuine. This is what he really means. And then now when I'm older, when I'm getting closer to commit to Illinois, it's like, all right, bet. I know that one of the greats told me this, so this is what I got to do. This another way of motivation. So, you know, and just the work that he did in Illinois, for the state, you know, that always gave me motivation. You know, that always gave me a chip. So I thank him for that because if you look at, you know, any player, it's always somebody that did it before them. And it's always guys after them that's trying to, you know, be better than them or get them a chip to try to win and be the best. And D, Darren, those guys, they definitely did that for me because me coming in, being a point guard from Illinois, I wanted to get the Illinois back to where they had it at. And so I thank him for that because, you know, everything he did, they gave me a chip on my shoulder to try to be the best and try to be, you know, one of the best to play at Illinois.
There you go. Well, hey man, we really appreciate you taking the time out. We know it was a lot to be able to get you on here. We really wanted to give you the time to get into the NBA and get things settled with your career. But we really appreciate you taking some time to come out here and talk to us. And of course, we're gonna always be your biggest supporter, man. And we're looking forward to watching the Bulls do their thing this year. So thank you so much, man.
Anytime, man. Appreciate y'all, man. This is fun.
All right, Ayo Dosunmu, everyone. Coach D Brown is going to stay here with us. Yes, Ayo's got to go. He got to get back in the weight room. We got a season coming up. Ayo got to get back in there and get that work, Coach D. You know how that goes. But hey, let's talk to you for a little bit. Coach D, head coach D. Let's say it like that. Head coach D Brown. How does it feel now being the head coach, not only at Roosevelt University, to do it back in the city of Chicago?
Man, it's a blessing. It's hard to be a head coach just in general, man. So like I don't take it for granted. I know how hard it is, and I commend all the assistants around the country who, were really good followers. Growing up, that's what I was taught. You got to be a really good follower. So eventually you become a leader. You know what it's like to be in that chair of just being loyal, being hardworking. So for me to get this opportunity, I'm very humbled and blessed, and I say that because I know how hard it is out here to get these jobs.
You know what, D? I tell people, any job, these college jobs is hard to get. When did you think you was ready to take the next step?
Honestly, 2015, 2014, 2015, my last year playing in Europe. I played 7 years in Europe, and if anybody played in Europe for that long, they know that the point guard over there is essentially the coach, runs the play, the locker room. I was just built to lead, man. I always was the leader in the locker room when I was a player, and so you just never know when that time, the time is for it to happen, Lance. But I would just tell you that you can never be ready. You just gotta, when opportunity comes, you gotta put it all together and ask everybody for help. I've been asking a lot of my mentors, a lot of people around that to help me, because I know I'm gonna need help, because it's a lot of stuff I don't know. You think you know everything. I don't know everything, and I'm just a lifelong learner who just want to keep learning the game, keep picking people's brain about how can I be better as a leader. But I would tell you guys this: I'm a strong believer in this, man. Ain't no good. Everybody say I'm a great coach. I'm a good coach. All the great coaches got good players. I don't care what nobody be talking about. They be like, man, D, you can't do this, you can't do that. When I get my players, when I get the guys who bleed and play the way I do, when I get the players, then we're gonna talk about, am I a good coach or not? But if you look around the world, you look at every really good coach got some killers.
Hey, D, we just gonna sum it up like this. You played in high school. You won.
Yeah.
You know some really good teams. You played on Final Four team in college. You play with some good teams. I tell people all the time, D, you understand the game. You play the game at a high level. You're a leader. You're a point guard. You understand the game, and it's gonna come down to talent. But tell me, why Roosevelt University, D?
Roosevelt is located prime location downtown on Michigan Avenue. The place sells itself. Got high academics. I knew the opportunity to go to Division II was on the table. It's a place where I can start, have a legacy. They had, one coach who did a really good job, but it's right here in my backyard. I have the talent here in Chicago. The facilities are really good. It just checked a lot of boxes for me. And again, to have the opportunity to be a head coach is just, come on, you guys, it's really hard. So this is my opportunity to sit in the chair, to learn, to grow. And that's my biggest thing for taking is just right here in the city. I ain't got to go nowhere. I got the crop of players that's right in my backyard. I have the facilities. And again, man, I just would just tell everybody you can't turn down jobs nowadays because they're hard to find.
Man, and for those of you who've never been to a game at Roosevelt, they redid that gym a few years ago. They built that gym. It's an incredible gym. It is an incredible gym. You got the train in the background through the windows, and I was in there refereeing volleyball, and I was like, "Whoa, this is a beautiful gym." I'm missing the plays, D. I'm calling the wrong call. I'm caught up in the environment. But go to that gym and support D. I mean, it's some great basketball that's played on the D2 and the D3 level here in the Chicago area. D, talk a little bit about the conference that you're in. Mm-hmm. And how do you see your team being able to compete in this conference in the years to come?
Well, absolutely. The CCAC, again, we have 2 years remaining before we transition to Division II. But we have a really good group of talent here. I mean, the previous staff did a great job of getting some really good kids, some really good local talent. One thing about my teams, when you come watch us play, we're going to play unselfish and we're going to play hard. I've always been on really good teams. You know what I mean? I've always, if you go back to my high school days, I had 5 D1 guys. You go to my college team, I have 5 NBA guys. You know what I mean? It's just always been a thing for me where the team. So for me, it's about just instilling my culture. Everybody be saying they got a culture or way of doing things. I just can promise you guys, if you ever watch me play, you You know how hard I play. You know how much I put into the game. I'm very passionate about it. So I need kids who gonna play hard. And we're gonna play hard when you come watch us play, or you just ain't gonna play for me. So we're gonna compete. And I could tell you know everybody say they want to win championships. They want to do X, Y, Z. I want guys to graduate. I want to compete for championships every single year. I want to do really good, big things in the community, and I want my guys to have a really great experience at Roosevelt, being in the city. Just enjoying our beautiful city, man. You know, we get a lot of negativity in the media, but again, we're the number 2 city in the country. I mean, in the world for a reason. So I want guys to have a great experience, get a degree, but just understand when you watch my teams, we're gonna play unselfish and we're gonna play hard, and that's a skill. But that's a culture I'm trying to build where guys got to be appreciative just to put on a jersey and play college basketball. So to answer your question, the league is really top heavy. It's some really good teams. It's some really good basketball being played in this league. But they had a really good year last year. Had the most wins in school history. Now we're trying to push that and to the next level, and again compete for championships.
You know what, D, Coach? Everybody has this type of player that they like. What's D Brown's type of player? So when D Brown walks into the gym, what is Coach D Brown looking for?
Guy got winning is an attitude. You know, you go in there, you see a guy, always ask guy like, what do you do? That's a trick question. That's a simple question. What do you do? So when I'm going to recruit guys and I'm sitting next to these coaches, I'm just laughing like these guys don't really, I'm putting together this beautiful picture, and I need pieces. And so if I'm going to see a dude and you tell me he can shoot it, my nickname is D for 3. So when Bill Self came to see me play, I'm hitting 10-3, or I'm shooting 10-3. I'm a shooter. You know what I mean? And if I'm not making those shots, I got to pick you up 94 feet because this man came to see me defend and knock down shots. So when I tell these kids, man, when I come watch you, if you tell me you rebound, you better be averaging 8 to 10 rebounds a game. You tell me you're a rim protector, I need 3-4 blocks a game. I always ask, what do you do? So for me, playing hard, again, if I love shooting, Lance, if you can't shoot the ball, you got to be able to shoot the ball. If you can't shoot it, you better be a dog. And you know what I mean when I say a dog. You better be tough. Mm-hmm. It better be about winning. It better be about can do everything in my power to win. And that's why I say, in much respect to Ayo, I was going to tell Ayo this. I love Ayo, and Ayo one of the GOATs because he averaged 21 points in college. He can score the ball. Mm-hmm. When he got to the NBA, he did whatever it took to not only make that roster, but to win basketball games. He's a winner. I want to recruit winners, people who speak winning. So when you go talk to these kids, it ain't about how many points you average. It ain't about how many moves. I mean, it's about, did you win the game and what did you do to contribute? Yeah. Man, if a kid can explain that to me, that's my type of kid.
I mean, D, you and I sat there and watched many games throughout the years. D and I sit there and we watch games. And we watching games. And D be breaking the games down to me. And D, I tell people all the time, they ask me, how do I get recruited? And I sit there and say, like you said, what do you do well? You have to do something well to get noticed. And I'm glad you said that, D, because at the end of the day, these jobs hard to get. And I want D to keep his job. What do we as a community need to do to help you, D? How can we help you?
You know how the city of Chicago is, man. They can keep hating on me. I like that. That fuels me. That fuels me. You know what I mean? I always kept a chip on my shoulder. You got to think about it. As a player coming from Chicago, I've always been told what I couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't never said D, and then we do the comparisons. We do my man better than you, or I'm gonna support this. At the end of the day, the people who are going to support me is the people I've been had relationships with over the past and want to see me do well. But I need the city to continue to do what they've been doing all my life, and that's tell me, I ain't going what I can't do. And I like it because again, this city taught me a lot, man. It's the jungle. You know what I mean? It taught me a lot, made me tough. The grittiness, the toughness. But this is a basketball town, and I can just tell you that I'm gonna be able to recruit the area because of the relationships I had in the past, and people know how I get down when it comes to basketball. It ain't just basketball with me; it's life, it's right. Education, it's community, it's really being out here. And I've been out here. I mean, it's proven. It's just nowadays with social media, people can videotape things, take pictures, and do these things. I was doing it way back when we ain't got to do that. I do it for good fortune, goodwill, because had that good sense. I want people to come pack the Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
They've been rocking with me. I've been rocking with them since I was 14 years old.
Jay, let me say this about D. D, one of the guys, like, D actually called me. He would check on me to see how I'm doing. D is genuine. That's why I was happy for you. Like, I called D. D not going to take 20 years to call me back. D going to call you back. D going to have a conversation with you. That's why I'm happy for you, D. And I just and I just feel some type of way when you like people hating on you. I'm like, hating.
It's
for
the city,
what?
though.
Like,
You know what I mean when I say that, though.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. That's why, exactly. That's why I'm sitting there like, but
Yeah, it's because we got so many clicks. We got so many clicks in Chicago. We always been a clicky town.
I ain't mad, though, because at the end of the day, man, I promise you, God, I'm not tripping at all, because it's a form of love in a way. You know what I'm saying? They want to see it, but they don't, because they're not in position, which is it's totally fine. But all I'm saying to you guys is they'll call me, Lance. You've been a head coach, and that's why I say I rock with you, because you was a head coach, and I always call. I got respect for your family, everything. But if I call you and you tell me, hey, D, I got a player for you. Man, he'll fit good over there at Roosevelt. He'll play good for you. I'm like, do you know what kind of coach I am? Like I don't like, I like what I like now. I like, and the dude I tell him I won't, they say he's too good to come play for me. So I say, okay, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the guys that embodies everything I'm about, and we're gonna keep it pushing. But you ain't gonna tell me what player I need. You know what I mean? Like I go out and I know what I'm looking for. I know what my roster needs. I know what my coaching staff talked about all week about what we need to boost our roster. How can we get better? He's always about getting better and better. And a lot of these guys just call and be like, want to throw me players. I don't want to throw me players. I want the guys I can actually see in my program and help this, help this institution as far as with graduating, as far as with doing the stuff we want to do in the community, and also competing for championships. Like these coaches get caught up in not getting the kids that want to run through the door for you. You know what I'm saying? That's really good, that fit what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? Like I always tell people, I got a code on my back right now. Y'all can see right behind me. The Miami Heat ain't drafting just anybody. There's a certain type of culture. It's a certain type of dude they get. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like these certain organizations I've studied. Bill Self the same way. He ain't just gonna go recruit anybody. You got to be a dog. You got to fit him. For me, I'm the same type of cat, man. You got to fit everything I'm about. You got to speak winning. You got to be about all the things that we talk about, because it ain't just writing on the wall for me. I played for some really good coaches, some really good teams. And when I tell you the culture was so tight that I felt like when I stepped on the court, you wasn't beating me. And that's why I said, Vaso East, I won 100 games. At Illinois, I won 114 games. Winning is part of this business, and it's something that nobody really understands. Winning is not normal. People just think you can wake up and you're just gonna win. No, you got to have the
You just said something, D. You talked about the right people. You mentioned Bill Self several times. What does Bill Self mean to you and your playing career, and also Troy Jackson and some of those guys? Talk to us about some of your mentors that you had.
Yeah, no, Bill good. I mentioned Bill Self a lot because he reminded me of like when Io was just talking about Nick. Nick instills so much confidence in you. That man's so talented when it comes to just instilling confidence in his players. So when Bill came to see me, he put so much confidence in, man, you could be the face of college basketball. You could be the biggest player to ever play at Illinois. I did my research on Illinois. There's some killers that went there. I'm like listening to him like, nah, man. Kejuan Garris, the Derek Harper, the Nick Anderson, like Kendall Gill, like what you talking about? But he just made me feel like I was going to be that guy. And the week after I committed to him, he went and signed another point guard, number 3 pick in the draft. Hold on, bro. You a cold boy. You a cold boy, man, to go get 2 dudes in the same class, same position, and make us believe we can play with you. So he made me realize that you got to stack your team. You got to have talent. You got to have good players to win. And I never ducked competition or none of that, because I had Shannon Brown, another first-round draft pick. Stephen Honor, another first-round draft pick. I didn't want to be the best player on my team. I wanted to be on the best team, and I've always been on the best teams. And when you came to watch us play, I made sure I stood out and I did my job. And that's why I try to tell these young dudes, just do your job. Bring what you bring to the table every single night. And that's what I tried to do. And that's what I'm going to continue to do, even as a coach. I'm going to have a staff around me who I believe in, who I can work with. They can, we work together. I'm bring my strengths to the table every day. bring your strengths to the table, and we're gonna be just fine as a team, as a unit.
Once again, for those of you joining us, you are watching What's Up, Cuz. Our guest right now is Coach D. Brown at Roosevelt University. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, go ahead and click and subscribe to that, and throw us some questions and comments in today's show as well. Coach D, we asked the same thing of Ayo, and so I'm going to ask it of you. This is you going up against Chris Paul. Back in the day, you were Chris Paul. What does U of I mean to you, and how did D. Brown, a kid from Maywood, excel down in Champaign, Illinois?
Man, Illinois means everything to me, man. That's where I grew up. That's where I became a man. Man, won a lot of championships down there. We 6 points away from having a perfect season. Everything that was promised, it's 4 things that's on the wall when you walk in the University of Illinois. First is graduate. I graduated from University of Illinois in 3 years with my degree. The second one is win Big Ten championships. The third is participate and advance in an NCAA tournament, and the fourth one is win a national championship. So I try to cross off all those boxes, end up getting to the national championship, falling a little short, but just my experiences of playing with really good players, having really good coaches. I played with a lot of just different, we had 12 managers, for instance. I think like 6 of them D1 coaches. I had 5 NBA players on my team. I had 12 European pros. I learned how to be a really good teammate. And then just state of Illinois, just being the guy. Like when you win, you leave a legacy anywhere from top to bottom. And everybody know who I am because of the work I put in. So it means a lot to me when I get love here in my state, just because of when I put that jersey on, what it meant to me and my mom and my family. Them being able to drive 2 hours and watch me play, and being in Chicago, playing at the United Center, playing in Rosemont. It just was like a dream come true to do all those things in front of my people. When you do it in front of your people, it's different. They get to go on the journey with you. So. My brothers, my dad, my sons, everybody was a part of it, and felt loved and felt like, I was home. And that's why I celebrated, and I'll tell people I love Ayo, man, because he stayed home and put us back on the map. And all these youngins who, his age, they'd be DMing me, hit me up like, yeah, Ayo the GOAT. I'm like, yeah, man, that's what you get when you stay in state and you handle your business. And so I'm very excited. I know before I got there, I used to talk about Frank Williams, Sergio McClain's, the Corey Bradfords, the same way. They paved the way for me. So to see Ayo stay home, he had the same, or he probably even a bigger impact with the social media, bigger impact on the institution because he chose to stay home and put that jersey on, and he did it the right way. One of the best human beings I ever met. Just humble wise, So he reminded me so much of myself just off the court, how he carry himself, how he treat me. Just a solid human being. So when you solid and when you're on top, people gonna remember that when, later in life, when even when you go through ups and downs, they're gonna remember how solid you was when you was at the top of the world.
And Dave, for you, it's not just U of I. I mean, you came out of Proviso Beach, which has its own tradition of athletics, especially in basketball. Talk a little bit about back in your high school days at Proviso East and how that helped.
Yeah, I'm from out West Chicago. So when I was picking my high schools, it was between Westinghouse, Lane Tech, and Proviso East. And I looked at Proviso East roster, and they had a 7-foot dude on there. I was like, whoa. I gotta. And then I started doing my history program. I said, yeah, I probably gotta go there, man. I know it's in the jungle. I know it's in Maywood. I gotta move out there. I gotta go there. So, I was the first freshman ever starting varsity in program history. I played with some really good guys. Man, it taught me a lot because I got into the game as a defender. I got into a game as a role player. A lot of these guys don't know what it means to be a star role player. I grew. I trusted the process. By the time I was a junior, I was rolling. I was becoming the guy. And then by the time I was a senior, I still had Shannon, who number 3 player in the country, playing with me. So just a lot of good players, a lot of good tradition. I claim Maywood because, again, they took me in, not being from out there, and they made me one of theirs. And, again, if you look at who I was, when they asked me that question as a senior, they said, D, what do you do? I said, I shoot the ball and I can defend at a high level. And you go look now, I try to break every record steal wise. I think I'm still the all-time leader in state history with steals. I put a lot of those guys on to watching film, and I go watch. My funniest Nick story. I went to see Nick play at the Pavilion.
Did you?
Yeah, he had graphics in his head. He had like 4. I was like, who's this little chubby little dude? I didn't get busy like this, all this graphics in here. So I went back out west, got graphics, went to start working on my jump shot. I was like, man, this dude over here from Carver is nice. Go watch other guards in the city and steal their moves, steal their swag, and take it back to my crib. Like, that's I gotta put that in my bag. Buddy was pulling up from one step past half. I gotta get that. he was doing dribble moves. I ain't never, you know what I mean? Like, he had flair, he had swag, and I took a little piece of from everybody. I went south, north, east, west. I went to play against every dude in Chicago because it's clicky, like you said. It's a lot of clicks. And my man better than yours. Or he nice over here. He nice over there. Well, let me go find out how nice he is, because where I'm trying to go, everybody gonna be nice. So I need to level up my competition. You know what I mean? So, man, like Havasu East really, put me on the map, because when I got out there, I mean, it was just like, man, this is awesome. I get to play with another NBA guy, 2 NBA guys. I get to be traditional high school that's about basketball. So it really put me on the map, and really, I'm really grateful for Havasu East giving me an opportunity to come out there and play.
Hey, D, let me ask you a question about your first month coaching, sitting in that chair. What has your first couple of months and weeks been like? Because mine was crazy. How's your first couple of weeks and months and your first month been? I don't even think you've been a month, have you?
No, I've been 2. I've been 2, 2 months. It's been really just busy, man. Busy. It's NAIA, so you gotta hold a roster of 30.
You gotta grind.
Yeah, you got a roster of 30. Then I, just got my staff all the way put together. It took a long time for me to get my staff. So it's been a grind, man. Because but one thing I'm gonna tell you, Lance, I'm simple. I ain't trying to. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I got so many things I want to do. I want to master 1 or 2 things early. You know what I mean? And that's the first thing, is just getting to know my players. When it's a change, it's new leadership. You got to make sure the young guys in that locker room, rock with you, and you got a relationship with them. And it's a lot of them. So it takes time for you to build that. You know what I'm saying? So I want to get a relationship with my players. So that's been going well. And then I'm also like, strength and conditioning coach. I'm the, so I wear a lot of different hats. So, but I ain't running from anything, man. My biggest strength is what's IO's biggest strength, man. We some grinders. We work hard. We want that chip on our shoulders allows us to just push through and just keep grinding. And this chair is hard. I know this chair was going to be that way. And
exactly.
I'm looking forward to everything thrown my way. I'm looking forward to the adversity. I'm looking forward with the highs, the lows. I'm just ready for it, because I understand this game. I've been in this game all my life, and I understand it.
D, we got a question from an alum. Lance, let me get this question in. Our girl Gia Warren, she had a question. Let's say the question is, how can Roosevelt alumni support you and the team, D?
That is awesome. First thing you could do is definitely come out and support our guys. I mean, we definitely gonna try to pack this. We got 13 home games, and I always told someone this: if you just protect home court, you got a chance.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't lose at home, I mean, you can't. Nobody can come in your crib and beat you. So for us, we want to create that home court advantage. So just coming to the games and supporting our guys and packing the place and watching them play, because it's all about the guys. It's not going to be about myself or, it's about the guys that put that jersey on, put the work in every single day. And I really mean that, because the experience here at Roosevelt, I wanted to be a really good one. I had a great college experience. And that's one of my program goals, is when guys leave Roosevelt, I want them to always come back, feel like it's home, had a great time. They got great stories with their teammates, great stories from the network of people they was able to meet. So what you can do, you can come to the game, supporters, and again, and meet our guys, and they'll really appreciate that, because again, these guys work really hard, and it's levels to it. I always tell these guys, it's levels to it, but I would tell y'all, we working hard like we at the University of Illinois. Like, ain't no levels when it comes to the work we about to put in, and how much passion we're gonna have for the sport, and making sure everybody who come to the game feel that when they leave.
And just a quick follow-up to that, D, sticking on that same subject. Is it difficult, because Roosevelt, you all do have some dorms, but it's mostly kind of like a commuter school? Is it hard to build that culture down there to get the students, the current students, to come out to the game?
Yeah, it's tough everywhere, but again, that's why we got to do a really good job of getting out in the community and making people feel us. Like, we got to be genuine, man. When you genuine people, they know you rock with them. They come out and support you. It is a lot of things to do in Chicago. Like, it's just what it is. But we're not going to complain. We're not going to use that as anything. We're going to make sure we get out in the community, be seen, do things from the heart, be genuine, and watch everybody, come support us, especially, God willing, we get on the road and we win a few basketball games. People are starting noticing when you're doing good things in the community, when you're playing good basketball. So it all got to be clicking. And I think we're going to be able to do that this coming season.
So, D, really quick, what days do you guys normally play on in your conference? Is it Thursday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday?
It's Wednesday, Saturday.
Wednesday, Saturday?
Yep.
So, D, let me ask you this last question. You and Io in a shooting contest.
In a shooting contest?
Who's winning that shooting contest?
Man, Io know the answer to that one. And hey, look, Io can really shoot that thing too, though. He can. His shot has got so much better. You gotta understand. I watch those guys. I'm living through him, man. He really has done a great job, especially his corner ball. He really can. He's been doing a great job of shooting the basketball. But I would just tell you, I don't really. When it comes to that, he got a couple more years to get me in that department. You know what? He's a better transition player, and his defense is just. He's gonna be an elite defender, man. He's gonna be really good on that. And again, I know sometimes people don't want to hear that, but you gotta look at the Pat Beverly, the Marcus Smarts of the world, making all that money by locking up every single night. And he's not only a defender, but that's how he's gonna get paid. And in the summers, he's gonna be giving people 50 because you're gonna forget he's really a good offensive player.
It goes back to what we said, D. I used to tell people, what do you do well? That's one of the things that he does well. And I think oftentimes, when you mentioned Pat Beverly, people like Pat Beverly, and Pat Beverly is an elite defender in what he does. Yeah. Same way, like you said, we all got things that we do well, man. And I'm pulling for you, D. If you ever need anything.
Yes, we are.
And I'm gonna definitely come watch you practice.
Yo, man, appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me too, man. I really appreciate it.
Without a doubt. And D, I didn't know you were born in Jackson, Mississippi. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I'm born in Jackson. We moved up to Chicago when I was 2, and I don't remember much about it, but I do go on that Mississippi JUCO trail because I tell people I'm from Mississippi, and they're like, "No, you." And I was like, "Yeah, I grew up there. Like, what you know about it? Not too much, but I was down there,
You're like, I got a birth certificate to prove it. What y'all talking about?
They say Jackson, Mississippi, man. And I don't duck from it. I'm born in the South, but I'm a Chicago head. I'm a Chicago dude. I think Chicago produces the best basketball. We're a basketball town. Again, this is my streets. This is my level of competition. This is my level of let's do it. People know that about me. I'm just highly competitive because in this city, it's a lot of little D Browns, and there was a lot of dudes that gave me work. A lot of dudes that gave me work coming up, and they made me better. And as a coach, it's a lot of guys that got great basketball minds. That right now, my conditioning, everything that I was doing from 9 years old to, so I got to college. I'm in my bag. The Henry Coddens. I got to shout out Terry Head. I got to shout out, Troy Jackson, Andrew Johnson, John Mastranzi, all these guys that when I came up, Troy Johnson, these guys taught me a lot about the game. Larry Butler as well. I played for Larry Butler. Larry Butler gave me some gems and allowed me to play on his team for the Peace Jam one time that changed my life. Playing with Andre Iguodala and just being around more guys who was like-minded like me. I always tell these young dudes, if you're not hanging around a dude that got the same aspirations, the same goals as you need to stop hanging with them. Yep. Because dudes, and I was going to the gym. That was my weapon. I keep a weapon on me. Like I keep one on me. Like if dudes ain't doing what I'm doing, man, I just couldn't hang with them, and that made me. It took my game to the next level, and it made me understand like dudes really out here working. Dudes really out here more passionate about the game, and they serious. Like they ain't no games to them, and that's when I say young man like Io, I'm happy. He's a great role model for these youngins because he's serious about his craft, man. And I want these youngins to follow dudes like him who do it the right way, eat the right way, train. He's in the gym 8 hours. Like, it's no joke with him. It's serious. And I like dudes like that who's role models. And I want my players, my kids to look up to young men like that because he's doing it the right way.
All right. Coach D Brown, everybody, Roosevelt University. Thanks a lot, D. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it.
All right. D Brown, everybody. Woo! Woo! Man, we are rolling today, and we are rolling commercial free because we are talking just pretty much all basketball on this show, Lance Urban. And you know, let's keep it rolling, man. Let's keep it rolling. You good with that? You need to go to the bathroom? I know you're old. How's the prostate? You all right?
I'm a professional, and I'm in shape. Let's go. I've been up since 5:30. I have walked 5.4 miles this morning. Let's get it.
That means I got about 20 more minutes out of you before you keel over and go to sleep. So, all right. So our next guest, I reached out to them kind of at the last minute. I was hoping to bring them on anyway, but I was hoping the conversation was going to be something different. I hope I was going to be talking about our Chicago Sky are in the WNBA Finals, trying to defend their title, blah, blah, blah. We all felt confident last week on the show, you know. Oh, yeah, we think we can take them. We said, you know, it's going to go 5. We both agreed it was going to go 5, but we thought the Sky was going to take them. And we were like 1 quarter away from being right, Lance Urban. and then all hell broke loose.
To be exact, we weren't a quarter away. We was 3 minutes and 47 seconds away from being right. Had a 7-point lead, 9-point lead.
Yeah, and then things didn't go well. So I reached out to my guy Eric Wilson of the Sideline Sports Network because he covers the Sky, he covers WNBA, he covers a lot of different stuff, and he was a witness to everything that happened. He was with me in the press conference afterwards when Kurt Miller made his comment. So I said, let me get Eric on the show, and maybe Eric can help us digest this and talk us through the pain we're experiencing here in Chicago. So welcome to What's Up, Cuz. For the first time, my guy Eric Wilson. Big E, what's up, man? How you doing? Welcome to What's Up, Cuz, man.
What up, cuz? Fellas, thank you so much for having me on, man. Listen, I done drunk my sorrows away, so, you know, a little bit of time. And Lance, let me just say to you, man, 5:20 something in the morning, you up before, as Cat Williams would say, Jesus and the Mexicans. Good. I can get you on that schedule. Wow. But fellas, in all seriousness, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate this. You know, I had to come correct because I was like, if we talk about the Sky, I got to make sure I look it. So.
But you know, Eric, I thought they had a chance, but the one thing I was concerned about was that the Suns' size was starting to get to us and their defense. And I never thought on the offensive end that we had players other than Copper who can get a basket. Talk to us about, did you think that their team speed, the Suns, their size and team speed was a little bit much for us?
The size, yes. The speed, no. No, okay. We know this team to play an up-tempo style of ball. You saw that in 2020 when they were in the bubble. They were starting to kind of get that speed, that tempo. James Wade brought that into the mix. And then you had last year. Granted, it was 16-16, but then we saw them just get hot at the right moment and take off. So you knew coming into 2022 what this team was capable of. And continually, the Sky had said, listen, we have not played the best Chicago Sky basketball. To the 3 minutes and 47 seconds or 44 seconds that you're talking about, Lance, man, let me be honest with you. I saw it. I saw the gas in the tank just go from half to E, just like that. And it was one of those things where it just kind of, as much as the crowd was trying to hold on, saying, look, get in it. We got this. We only need a couple more. It just, for whatever reason, it just wasn't there, man. And here's the thing that I'll say. The physical side of that game, I noticed from jump, okay? You're talking about a Connecticut Sun team, and shout out to them being in the WNBA Finals. That's all I'm going to say about it. That's it. I'm going to give them their props. Listen, ladies, congratulations, you there. Don't get swept because, you know, but when you look at the physical prowess of these female athletes, okay? You got Jonquel Jones, you got Brianna Jones, you've got DeWanna Bonner, and you've got Alyssa Thomas. They got that size. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. The finesse of Courtney and Allie, the Vanderquigs, it was there. But physical just could not match up. Listen, Kai and me are from the same neighborhood, okay? We from the 215. So when I say North Philly stand up, I don't just say that to impress her. That's coming from the heart. We know what Candace was going to be. Emma coming over being that presence because someone had to replace Stephanie Dolson from last season.
Mhm.
They added the size,
True.
but here's the one thing I wish, and it's always, hindsight being 2020. I wish Coach Wade would have played Azure Stevens, Candace Parker, and Emma Mieseman more together. I think that matchup with your court of Courtney and Allie, I think that would have gave Connecticut a true run for their money.
Mm-hmm. But also the thing I think happened is we weren't able to hit the 3-ball like we hit it in the regular season. So without them making threes, it was kind of like it turned into a half-court game a little bit, right? And the Suns were able to get out, at least in that last game, the last quarter, get some easy baskets. So where do we go from here? Would you bring the whole team back, or you think some people not going to return? I think Dana Evans probably need to play a little bit more.
I agree. And she made that very clear.
Yes, she did.
Look.
Did she? You didn't tell me that, cuz. Break it down.
Because I was bringing Eric on. I knew Eric was going to say it.
Oh, yeah. Dana made it very clear. She wants to show everybody who she is. She does not want to be. She's like, listen, I understand my role, but I am trying to play the game. Okay.
Yes.
And
yes.
Listen, I'm not a coach. I just give you what I see as a fan and as someone who covers the team. I think Courtney Williams matched up against Dana Evans, that would have been a track meet. Both of them back and forth up and down the court we'd have been like, which way did they go? Which way? That's the way it would have been with the two of them.
Yes.
Where do we go from here? That's a great question because the Vanderquig signed a 1-year deal. Courtney, but we don't know what's going to happen. Allie has said she's not going to go play overseas. Courtney has not made that decision yet, whether she's going to go or not. Kalia is going, but we know we got her under contract for at least 2 more years. Okay. Candace will decide when Candace ready to decide, and we know that to be the case. I'm not sitting on my hands waiting on Candace because I have a feeling she is a competitor. And I really feel like, Jason, to your point, and you and I both were in that room, Kurt made the comment, she responded how she responded. Candace looks for bulletin board material.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you when she goes into training camp and she decides whether she's going to play next year or not, which I really hope she does, she's going to have that posted somewhere looking at her every single day.
Mm-hmm. And then let me explain it, Eric, for the people who didn't know. So Eric and I, we're sitting there in the press conference, and Kurt Miller, coach of the Sun, comes in, and his first mistake, and I say this because I'm a member of the media like you, Eric, and I hate when people try to tell us how to do our damn job. His first mistake was saying, I need you all in the media to report that such, we knocked Candace Parker out of the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years. Now, my first thing is, we probably would have picked up on that ourselves, but for you to go out and tell us what we need to be doing when you don't pay us and you ain't our boss, that was the first mistake he made. Second mistake was, he said that to one of the greatest of all time, and like Eric said, she gonna have a chip on her shoulder, you come out and say that. Now, I thought Candace's response was classic. When she came out and said, we don't hang conference banners in Chicago. We got
Facts.
we aim higher than that.
Right. And you knew Candace has always been that person. She picks and chooses how she approaches things very systematically. Not to mention when you're an analyst on TNT and you sitting up there with Shaq and Ernie and Chuck, and you sit up there with that whole crew. There's a certain you develop a certain way of approaching situations, much like we all have to do as brothers here. We got to approach every situation in a specific way, and sometimes we got to check our own selves before we got to check somebody else. But make no mistake about it, we always get our point across. Now, whether you understand it or not is not for us to decide, but we're gonna get our point across. And again, Jason, to your point, Candace, when she was, and I was very, because I was watching, because I knew someone was going to be the one to bring it up.
It was going to be me. It was going to be me. Somebody beat me to it.
I was like, okay, here we go. Because the moment he said it, I was like, oh, someone gonna ask Ken. I seriously, I was in the Zoom in the back like this. I was like, it's coming. I was waiting. My hand was raised. Thank you. My hand was raised too because I was like, ooh, don't let me be the one to do it. But she was very poignant with it. She's like, we don't hang conference banners here in Chicago. I was like, that's it, done. Keep it moving. Mic drop. She could have walked off right there and been perfectly fine.
Without a doubt. Now, the other thing you brought up, which I brought up as well, I hope my boy Will Ross is watching this show, but Will go try to come at me on Facebook when I said James should have played Dana Evans more. I think Eric was being a little kind earlier when he said how Dana was straightforward. Dana said in the exit interview, Lance, I don't want to be no cheerleader. She used those words. Yes. I'm not here to be a cheerleader.
Yes.
You know, James did not play her at all in Game 5, and you could obviously see, as Eric said, that Vandersloot was tired. She had nothing left in the tank. And Courtney Williams was running by her like she was stuck in concrete. And I'm like, this is why you play Dana Evans. And Dana going to give you some points, and she can shoot from the outside because Quigley couldn't hit water while in a boat.
Yeah,
it was difficult. It was difficult to watch knowing their capability. I'm sorry, Lance. Go ahead.
No, the one thing I was going to say about Dana Evans, the one thing about her, she isn't short on confidence. And when you play the game, you understand the game. You kind of understand what your team needs. So if I'm Dana Evans, I probably wouldn't have said it that way. But I was sitting there watching the game too, and I love James Wade as a coach. I think he's an elite coach. But I was like, Dana probably needs to play a little bit because of what you said, Eric. Courtney Williams. And I found that our guards, Vandersloot, Quigley, they just couldn't keep up with it. And then we're not talking about Odyssey Sims yet. Odyssey Sims is that dog on the other team too. So I just thought she should have played just a little bit more. But now I didn't know she said what she said though. Like that right there. So is she on a 1-year deal? If she isn't, do you bring her back?
Oh no, Dana's coming back. Dana's coming back. The situation right now is, and I'm not sure, Lance, if you know this, Jason, I know you know because they talked about it during the entire exit media interview, is the prioritization rule.
Okay.
And the prioritization rule really quickly just basically states that if you are a veteran player, 3 years or more in the league, in the WNBA, you must report. If you go overseas to play, you must report by either the start of training camp or May 1st, which however they break it down.
Oh, okay.
Okay. By, if you're a fourth year or higher, you have to be back by training camp, or else as punishment, you're suspended for the whole season. If that's the case, do you realize we would not have Kalia Copper this season? We would not have had Kalia Copper this season if the prioritization rule was in place for 2022. She didn't come back until probably about 4 or 5 games. She didn't come back till the middle of May. We already had played 2 weeks before.
So I'm not playing without her.
Right. And so it's one of those things where now these women are asked to choose between going overseas and making 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 times the amount of money they're making here in the States, or stay over there, play the entire season, win a championship, and then you got the summer off, because you can't play in the WNBA because that is their rule. And that bothers me. But I know Dana we're going into Dana's third season.
Third year.
Right. So Dana still has that ability. But again, she was even like, yes, I leave. She said, I leave September. She leaves a week from today.
Okay.
Actually. And she is going overseas, but means wherever she plays, she has to make a decision. Am I going to come back and play for this team? Because if I'm not back by a certain date, by a certain time, I can't play. And now my question, Jason, and maybe you can answer this for me. They are suspended. However, can they get picked up? Because I guess if you're suspended for the season, you're suspended for the season, right?
Allegedly.
Oh, I mean, because I'm just like, okay, so if I don't come back, let's say arguably, we know injuries play a
Exactly.
factor. We know sometimes personal issues, health issues, whatever. If I'm suspended for the season because I choose to stay over there and make $1 million, but then another team needs a point guard, a shooting guard like a Dana Evans, is she available? Or is it, no, you can't play on any team?
So, Eric, here's the thing. I understand what the WNBA is trying to do because they want their players, especially their star players, there for the entire season. Because it's not a good look when you've already started your season and 2 weeks in, Candace Parker is still in Turkey or wherever, the players are going. So I get it. But I think the way they did it and the way they're instituting it so quickly, it may end up backfiring on them when they've already started with some momentum. And actually, that was the next question I was going to ask you. We've seen them make some gains in the last couple of years for the players. However, there's still dumb stuff going on. People are still spending the night in airports because we were not flying charter planes. So you still have a ways to go, WNBA. I think what they're trying to do with this prioritization rule is too soon because you still haven't really established enough yet. And that was what I wanted to get your thoughts on. Do you think they are established enough? Let's start simple. Tell me what are some of the gains you've seen that the league has made over the last 2 seasons?
Over the last 2 seasons, what have I seen? I mean, it took. I know we didn't really credit him a lot earlier, but it took Kurt Miller breaking down what the travel looked like for the league to actually say, for the rest of these playoffs, we are going to charter flights, and then for next year's finals, we are going to charter flights so that our players have that is an accommodation to them. But if you go back to the CBA agreement that they signed in 2020, okay, and you look through it, it specifically states that the WNBA players will fly economy or economy plus. That's what they signed. So I can't put all of this on the league. I put this back on the Players Association to say, okay, we need to get, and this is no shot at Nneka Ogwumike or anybody else who is affiliated in the Players Association, but there needs to be better representation. We are talking about women who range from what, 5'6" to 6'8".
6'8". Yeah.
I mean, come on. Where are they gonna sit? If they can't sit first class, they gotta sit in the emergency room.
I don't even fly in economy no more, Eric. My knees can't take no more.
You know what I mean? So I am happy that they did that. And then talking about, the marketing side of things and being able to put more the Commissioner's Cup. If I had to pick 2 things, I would say that the chartered flights for which they need to be for the entire run of the postseason.
Yeah.
And the Commissioner's Cup. I think those are the 2 things that I can say I have seen the WNBA put more investment back into their players.
And what do they need to work on, Eric?
Oh, of course they need to work on marketing. I mean, come on. You guys.
I'm jealous because you actually got a damn jersey last year.
Oh, I couldn't get one either. So real talk. I was at the finals last year. I was there. Hold on. I'll even show y'all proof because everybody's like, you wasn't there. I was like, hold on. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. And so if y'all can see this, yeah. Okay. That's me and Coach Wade on the court when they won the championship. Do you know that very same night, I went to order this hat right here. I tried to get this hat. They canceled my order. It took me 7 months to get this hat, the championship hat. This jersey, I just got this jersey for my birthday this past June. Okay?
And I'm jealous. I'm trying to figure out where you live so I can come jack me a jersey from you.
Listen, we'll talk, and I'll let you know where I have a site that I sometimes use, and it works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I will share that with y'all. But I'm like, are you kidding me? And then here's the thing. Did you know this? This is something I might get in trouble for this, but I'm going to say it anyhow. Do you know the Chicago Sky, well, every team in the WNBA have 3 jerseys. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago Sky have the Rebel Blue. They got this black and they got a white one. You know you can't find the white one anywhere. I have looked.
Anywhere.
I have looked to try and find me a white jersey.
That's the Rebel Blue. That's the Rebel Blue.
That's the Rebel Blue. You can get that one. You can get that one. Yep. And you can get this black one that I am wearing right here. Those are the only 2. But here's an even funnier thing for you. So last season, when I'm when I'm trying to get these jerseys, I listen, I don't like getting on Twitter because I don't like telling my business like that. That's not who I am. But I was on Twitter like Fanatic. Why are there no Chicago Sky jerseys on your website? I could find every other team in the WNBA, but I could not find the Champions jersey. And I had someone from Fanatic personally reach out to me and DM'd me. I'm like, no, you're not understanding what I'm saying to you. This team just won the championship. And you're telling me I want to give you money and you don't want it? You don't want my money? Like, help me. How does that work?
I don't understand. Well, I don't understand.
No, Lance, please.
I don't understand.
This is what I'm saying.
Like we were talking about that last year, but I went in Dixon Orland about a month ago, and I actually saw Chicago Sky jersey and T-shirt. I saw the black. I didn't see the white. But in 2022, why is the league not being marketed right? That's some more revenue. I mean, Jason, give Eric. I mean, why not?
That's where I'm at. I'm like, listen, we need to promote this. Everybody talks about we need to invest in our female athletes. We need to make sure that they are shown in a positive light. This league has been around for 26 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you're still having issues? Still trying to find merchandise? How is it that like okay, Vegas or Connecticut, doesn't matter who wins. We as fans should be able, if it's not now, let it be when the series ends. We should be able to go and purchase hats, jerseys, T-shirts, everything. People want to throw money into this, but for whatever reason, they don't have the right thing in place. And then the league pass is what I have a big problem with. Okay,
it was
I have
a problem
spending $20 a year, or $20 a season for a league pass. I mean, that's not an issue. But you want to know where I'm at? I live in Florida, so I don't always get all the Chicago games. So I'm trying to figure out, well, and then they're telling me, well, you got to go to CBS Sports Online, or you got to go to ESPN Ocho, or you got to be in here. What? No. So I'm thankful that ESPN and Google and Amazon have put their money into it, saying, okay, we're going to put these games out there. But let me ask y'all this. When you go and watch an NBA game, there are 3 channels, okay? You go to TNT, actually 4. You go to TBS, you go to ESPN, and then on the weekends, you got ABC.
ABC, yep.
Why can't we do, I mean, we're doing ESPN and ABC. Why can't we work with TNT and TBS to say, hey, why don't we put WNBA games there? They're already showing basketball games. What you gonna watch during the summer? Old movies you done seen 20,000 times?
There you go.
Come on, man, cut it out.
It makes sense, and I'm like, who's making these decisions for
Not
you?
us. Not us.
That's crazy.
It is crazy, Eric. And so, before I let you go real quick, I was going to talk about this anyway on the take, and then I want you on this situation as well, because it's something that's been talked about. And it just so happened that 9 years ago today, I conducted an interview with Brittney Griner. It was during a game when they were here in Chicago playing against the Sky, and this is when they were playing out at the Rosemont Horizon, for the love of God. But, I interviewed Brittney then. I've interviewed her a couple of times in like Zoom press conferences, but I haven't had a face-to-face chat with Brittney in a long time. And we obviously know what her situation is. And, my personal thoughts on it is, regardless of if you feel she had the vape pen in the country and she should have known the laws, regardless if you feel that she got set up by the Russian government, regardless of any of that. We have an American woman who's in frickin' Russia. Now, I've traveled a lot of places around the world. One of those places is Russia. I was in Russia in 1999 for 2 weeks with a group. And whenever I travel internationally, no matter where it is, I'm always very careful. I don't take my Americanism to other countries. I absorb the culture. I follow their laws. I do everything I'm supposed to do to keep myself out of trouble. But I also understand when you leave these borders, it's still a risk. It's still a risk. No matter where you go, you're still taking a risk. So my thought on Brittany is that I just want her home. We can debate all the other stuff that people are complaining about once she's back in the United States. The key being back in the United States. We've seen how the league responded. We saw how our teammates responded, Eric. Just what are your thoughts on Brittany Griner, and what has been your personal relationship with Brittany when you've had to work with her in your capacity as a journalist?
So I've never had the privilege of interviewing her face to face. I've only done it through Zoom calls, All-Star game, last year in Vegas. But for me, it has been, I'm very much along the same lines as you. We can discuss everything else after the fact. Brittany Griner needs to be home. And let me say that again, as I say on my show, shameless plug, Sideline Sports. For those in the cheap seats, she needs to be home. Once she is home, then we can, all your theories or whatever you want to throw, whatever, I don't care. But she is one of ours. She is, I still say, wrongfully detained, and she needs to be home. That's just it, cut and dry.
I agree. Eric, thank you so much, man. I mean, we've crossed paths on Zoom so much, but we've never connected. All the brothers try to connect, in this industry. When we can't.
We got to get Eric back on the show. Eric, where you been? Because Jason will act funny from time to time. Eric, and I need to have you on the show. So Eric, let's keep in touch. I'm gonna get your number from Jason, and I'm gonna reach out to you. You should have had Eric on the show.
I'm sorry, man. I got a lot of stuff I'm doing. Jesus.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. I tell this to everybody that I meet, and gentlemen, thank you for having me on because this is amazing. I always say this: I ain't a hard man to find. So you let me know if I can make it happen. What's up, cuz? I'll be here.
Eric, tell them where they can find you online.
Sure. Actually, in 55 minutes, I got my own show that I'm doing at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Central. You can check out the Sports Arena 1. That's the number1.com. That's my website. The show is called The Sports Arena. It's part of the Sideline Sports Network, which is the logo right here behind me. We got a litany of shows, but, it was great. Again, you can find me on Twitter and IG. It's at ECWilson76. Those are my Twitter and Instagram handle. And Mondays and Wednesday nights, I got a show, like I said, Sports Arena, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you so much. Eric, this has been fun. I want to come back.
Eric, get me on the show. Get
us
on your show one night.
All right, Lance. Hey, hit me up. I'll put you on. We can do this. I want to talk to y'all about the Bears, but we go that. I mean that.
Hey, Sean, Sean will be calling you for Wednesday show here.
Hey, congratulations to y'all too, because I ain't gonna lie, I did not pick Justin. I am a fan of Justin's though. I did not think he was gonna be able to get it done in that rain. I was wrong. I have to eat some crow tonight, but that brother needs some help. Somebody feels some help.
Thank you. I was sitting there nervous for the first half. I said, "Ooh, if he don't get this thing together, it's gonna get bad in Chicago."
We'll get him. Thanks a lot, E-Man. Oh, here's Sean. See, I told you. Oh, Lord. Sean, you on mute, producer. You're on mute, producer. Get yourself off mute.
Hey, listen. So here's what we got. We got it. We got him help. All right. Wait till the track gets clear. All right. It was a monsoon. It wasn't even a rainstorm. It was a monsoon. All right. And it held up pretty well. You didn't see turf flying all over the place. Wait till we get a little bit of a dry track, and you're gonna see what this front office and this coaching staff what they put together for Justin. What they didn't
I'm just
do.
saying.
Here's what they
Y'all
did.
better be thankful y'all got that Bermuda grass because you know that Bahia grass that messed up everybody. I'm just saying.
Stuff we had before, the Kentucky bluegrass. There's chunks coming out. Yeah, pivots and timeouts at the games. No, that Bermuda grass. That's the real deal. That's the real deal. We could talk Bears, man. I got you. Trust me. They got it covered. I'm very, very happy with what they did for Justin.
Fair enough.
All right. Thanks a lot. Eric Wilson, everybody. Check him out on Twitter at EC Wilson76 on Twitter. Sideline Sports. Thanks a lot, E. We'll be in touch.
I appreciate y'all.
All
Thank
right.
you, Jason.
Thank you.
All right. Woo, boy, this show is rolling, and it's rolling into overtime like Pittsburgh and the Bengals yesterday, Lance Irvin.
You working the heck out of your cousin today, boy.
Woo. He gonna want all sorts of chicken and all sorts of stuff I gotta buy for this food.
Bring my ladies on.
We got one more guest. We got one more guest, a former guest who's coming back. My good friend. She already made history last year as the second woman to coach the Chicago Public League team. And now she's making more history coming up this Thursday over at where, Lance Irvin? When's the game going to be played?
The game is at Gately Stadium this Thursday. Gately Stadium. I want to say 4:15.
4:15. There you go. From the stadium director dude himself. 4:15 at Gately Stadium. Our good friend Kanisha Rhea, head coach of DuSable High School. She will be taking on Coach Jocelyn Mayfield of Finger High School in the first time in Chicago Public League history. 2 female head coaches leading varsity football teams going together, going against each other on the gridiron. Let's bring in our girl, Coach Kanisha. Coach K, what's up? How you doing? Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back, you guys.
What up, Coach?
Hey, Mr. Irvin, how are you?
I'm always happy to see you because your personality is always good. But let me say this, though, Jay. Coach got a little bit of fire about it, too. I watched on the sideline. I'm like, no, that can't be. Hey, Jay, I saw. Boy, come here.
Kanisha was my first sports editor when I became a journalist. I know about the fire. Jason, if you don't get this damn story in on time, I swear to God, I'm going to kill you.
Y'all don't tell the people that I be threatening their kids.
You just real stern and firm. Stern and firm.
I am.
But talk to us about the matchup on Thursday. What does that mean? We have 2 coaches that happen to be young ladies coaching. What does that mean?
Oh my goodness. When I found out Jocelyn was the head coach of Finger, I called her. I'm like, chick, you didn't tell me. I just saw you in March at the Glacier Clinic. Why you didn't say anything? And she was like, because I didn't know then. It happened over the summer. So I'm just very, very proud of her. I'm so proud of her. She and I met, I think like 2014. She's coached with the Illinois Wolfpack, which is a youth team. And I was the coach for the Bridgeport Hurricanes. And so for a year, we were in the same league. And we met then. And you having 2 loudmouth women calling defenses, you tend to gravitate towards each other.
Uh-huh.
And so every year, Glacier Clinic, we see each other and just say, keep going, proud of each other. And then this March, she was like, I'm proud of you. And I'm like, you could do it too. And she's like, yeah, no. And then she lucked up to get the position at Finger. Her principal asked her to do it. And I'm like, we're doing this week 3. I was like, do you know this is the first in history? She was like, really? I'm like, yeah. So be prepared. You're going to have to do some interviews, dear. She was like, no. I said, yeah. If I got to do them, you got to do them. And, yeah.
And, I did see her on Thursday also. So, what can we expect out of this game? What can we expect?
Because we're both very defensive minded.
Mm-hmm.
So all I can say is those boys better execute. If not, I don't know whose mouth you're going to hear more of. it's gonna be a battle of defenses because we're both so defensive minded. We just got to stop each other.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it's her team that makes a mistake and I get to score. Hopefully, but fingers crossed. But other than that, it's just gonna be an amazing experience to be there, just to do it. Like I get to play against my friend. I get to play against somebody that I know that she's everything that I've put into it, that I'm able to share with her. Like, hey, look, it's a home game. You need chain gang. You need money for the door. You need to pay the announcer.
Yeah.
All of these things that I had to learn, or make sure, hey, these player record cards get put in, do a code of conduct, everything that I had to learn, sort of like the hard way, or having my AD teach me, I'm able to give it to her so that she can always look good. And that means a lot.
Well, and the other thing too is that you're both competitive and y'all want to win the damn game. so
oh my goodness, she's like, yeah, don't let that. We talked the other day and she was like, don't let that score fool you. We are not soft. I said, I know. I know. I said, I know to be scared. I know to be scared. I said, I know you probably got some of them Wolfpack plays too. So I'm preparing for you too. And so it's gonna be fun.
But let me ask you this: what's the wager on the game? Because Jason and I always wagering Harold, and he hasn't paid for my Harold yet.
She can't say that in public, Lance Irvin. Jesus Christ! You're trying to get people fired. That's a terrible question. Please strike that question from the record, Your Honor.
It could be 25 push-ups. Who said it had to be money?
There's no wager.
Well, I'm wagering for y'all. Well, like it.
Who works? Yes. Do you have another question? We're gonna edit that out on the rebroadcast.
No, we're not.
We probably have to wash each other's uniforms. I don't know. We'll do something.
There you go. Good answer, Khadijah. So let's ask this. Let me ask you this. What did you learn in your first year as a head coach last year?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You need help. You need competent help that not only knows the sport, but know how to deal with the kids of today. Because the kids of today is not us from yesterday. These babies soft. You can't talk any kind of way. They cry on the field, and you like, but why? I don't understand. Or they don't take constructive criticism, and they ready to jump off at the mouth, and you like, no, we talked about respect, and if you don't feel like you're being respected, you be quiet. And if it's another adult, you come let coach know, because I'm gonna protect you by any means necessary. But don't do it. You represent me, so just be quiet. I learned that. I learned that you can't please all the parents. You can't please them all.
I was surprised Lance didn't say amen on that
one. And I learned that, you know what? There is a difference between CPL students, Chicago Public League students, athletes, and the rest of the state. And something has to be done with the athletics of the city of Chicago. I don't know if it's transportation that will get them more committed, but something has to be done. That's what I learned.
I'll let you go with that, Jay.
Well, I mean, it's we've talked about this before, that, here's my thing about the city. I say this all the time. And it's not just the athletes, but we have to invest in our children. We have to invest in programs and activities for them when they're not in the classroom. I get investing in the classroom, but they're not in the classroom most of their life. So if you want the shootings to stop, if you want the robberies and all the dumb shit that's happening out on the street to stop, then you better start investing in the park district.
But you know what? Being a coach now and seeing it and being in the school, because my principals let me come in and volunteer as much as I want to, it's not lack of programming. Because
Mm.
at my small school where it was only 120 something students, all it took was 3 students to say I want to do something. And I know for me, my AD Coach Cash made it happen. We had,
Good.
I mean, when I say she made it happen, she made it happen. We had boys volleyball. We had track with like 2 or 3 people just running track. We had esports because she just wants we want the kids to be involved. We want
Stay involved. That's right.
But it's beyond that because this summer, even my whole team, they didn't show up to practice until maybe the week before August school started. Most of them started the week of school.
Mm-hmm.
It's that lack of commitment to sports. We did CPS is investing a lot of money in the sports. When I say a lot of money, there are I can speak only for football because that's where but we had clinics like with a speed clinic. We had different positional clinics where they paid money for people to come in. And they're good, like really top-notch programs to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know they had to cancel the South Side because they only had 2 people sign up?
So we have to get our kids more involved in the programs that are currently existing.
Parents have to tell their kids, no, it's not just during the season that you go to school that you have to put in work. It's after the season ends. I got frustrated in March when only 1 or 2 kids were showing up 3 days a week for, spring workouts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I live too far. I'm taking away from my kid to be here, and all I get is 1 person.
Yeah,
it's at least 8 of y'all in here. It's at least 8, and none of y'all want to come. So it's a disconnect between kids wanting to do anything other than being at home playing video games.
Well, you know what, Ikanisha, and we talked about that earlier on this show when we talked with D Brown in terms of just creating a culture and changing a culture that currently exists is one of the toughest things that you can do. I think what you and Coach Mayfield are doing, just by your sheer presence as head coaches, is changing a CPS kind of culture in terms of our football culture. Let me ask you this. In terms of coaching itself, what things do you do to help improve your coaching abilities on the field, how to relate to players, all that type of stuff?
Good question.
I'm going to Glacier Clinics. It's Glacier Clinics. It's reading books. It's talking to other coaches like John Konecki or Coach Lewandowski. I even talked to Coach Norwood from Gage Park. Yeah, a couple coaches that have done the game. I even called John Irvin, who was the owner and head coach of the Stallions of Country Club Hills when I was a manager, and said, I'm stuck. What do I do? Hell, I even reached out to a therapist this weekend because I know, like, give me some tools to help them self-regulate. I don't know. So I'm calling everybody. Because I don't know it all. And I tell folks, I don't know it all. But guess what? I know how to open up a book and learn. I know how to go to YouTube and learn. So if I can learn it, I can teach you. And you can learn.
And you know what, Coach? One thing you're doing is that you're at least taking your time to give back to the youth. And that's all that you can ask. And if you continue to be genuine what you do, everything will work out how it's supposed to work out, right? I got confident. I'm more than confident in you, knowing that things be fine. But with that being said, though, you're a good coach. Keep pushing. Don't sell yourself short, and continue to do the best that you can do. And sometimes it just takes a minute. That's all. So but now, 4:15, Thursday.
Yes.
Nah, what's the game plan other than defense? You could tell me and Jason now, what's the game plan? Talk to me.
So we're going to see if our passing game can really work, if my freshman quarterback lands, does what he is supposed to do, and my receivers actually catch, because they didn't do too well last week, then you'll see some more first downs. You'll see some more explosive plays.
See, because one thing I noticed, Jay, I watched both their games last week because when I heard this was going to be coming up, both of y'all like to run the ball. So it's imperative. Whoever controls the line of scrimmage, Jay, in this game, they're going to win the game.
Well, I'll tell you this. If they get that weather that was out there yesterday, they both going to be running the damn ball. Ain't nobody going to be throwing.
Let me check your forecast.
It's supposed to be 83.
83. There you go.
Okay, so since it's going to be 83, we'll pray for Coach Kanisha's freshman quarterback. We'll pray for our receivers. We'll pray for the finger players, too, that we get some explosive offensive plays in the matchup of the two female head coaches in the Chicago Public League going head-to-head this coming Thursday at Gately Stadium, 4:15 p.m. Kanisha, thank you so much. We're so proud of you. It ain't going to be easy because you're doing something that ain't never been done. That's the only thing I can say to you. It ain't never been done before, so it ain't going to be easy. And you're trying to change a culture, and that's the hardest thing in the world.
It is, but I'm up for the challenge.
There you go. I love your energy and your passion. Keep doing it. I'm going to be that Thursday like, let's go get it. Let's go get it.
Thank you. I know Jocelyn and I both thank you for letting us come early because the bus situation is not okay.
Yeah, it ain't good nowhere in the state. There's a bus driver shortage in the state of Illinois, so we'll work with you. It's not a problem. Thank you so much, Coach K, for coming on. We'll see you soon. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Woo, what a show, Lance. And we got one more thing just to talk about because they family. And they also a former guest on the show. This weekend, big thing happened this weekend. Big thing happened this weekend out in Massachusetts. It's in Massachusetts, right? I think it's in Springfield. Yeah, Springfield, Massachusetts. The Basketball Hall of Fame introduced a new class, and one of the members of that class was our guy, Tim Hardaway.
Man, shout out to Tim. I talked to him, a couple of weeks ago about how he felt and stuff, and he was just happy, and I'm happy for him. Even though I missed the party the other day because I had schoolwork to do, but Tim always has been the guy that I looked up to. Tim was tough. He was a physical type player, played hard, super smart on the basketball court, and a good person. And I'm happy that I could actually say somebody that I played against and know up close and personal made it to the Basketball Hall of Fame. So shout out to him and his family. It was long overdue. I remember when he was on the show, you and I asked questions about him actually. Did he think he should be in the Hall of Fame? And we covered that issue. So shout out to Timmy Disco. Happy for him, and man, wish him the best. And hopefully he'll come back on the show, which I know he will. So we ask him and talk to him again.
Yeah, I know we're going to try to get him back here the next couple of weeks to talk about his experience of being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Also, I got my watch on order, so I got a watch that's coming. Those of you, Tim's got a watch company, the Banneker Watch Company, and beautiful timepieces. Wow. So I already ordered one. It's on back order, so it should be here probably in a week or two. But once again, congratulations to Chicago's own Tim Hardaway in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And that, my cousin, is the end of our show.
Woo! You worked me today. You worked your cousins today. Woo! And I still have homework to do. Hey, Jay, your cousin, I'm doing everything. Homework, podcast, workouts. Hey, I'm one of the hardest people in showbiz like you are too, man. But we had a great show. Shout out to IO, D, Kanisha, Eric Wilson. You should have had Eric on the show.
Yeah, we had a full show. I'm not adding any more guests for this show. Well, what a great show, man. And I know we got a lot of new viewers tonight. We want to thank you all for tuning in. We're here every Monday night from 6 to 8 live on the Sports Zone Chicago Network. You can check us out on Roku TV. You can check us out on the Sports Zone Chicago app. You can check us out on YouTube. You can check us out on Facebook. However you check us out, we just appreciate you watching and sending us feedback, especially to our regulars. You know, we got Armando, we got Gia, we got Vernon. So Vernon gonna lead us smart aleck comment. So glad Jason didn't have his Dolphins gear on today. Forget you, Vernon. Don't be talking about my new team. And I'm going to address my divorce from the Bears next week. I don't have enough time to do that. But I don't hate the Bears. I just don't love you anymore. But I'm not going to pull against you. And you playing the Packers this week, so I still hate the Packers. So go Bears. Does that make everybody feel better?
Whatever.
All right, for our producer, Sean the Superback Sierra, I am Jason Palmer. He is my cousin Lance Irvin. We are What's Up Cuz. We will see you all next Monday night at 6 p.m. Peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, we will march on to victory. We will march on to victory. Let us march on to victory.